guys. Welcome, guys, to my Love Island USA Season 6, Episode 13. So this is Monday's episode. We are here to recap. I am back. Sorry for the long wait. I've been watching. I just haven't been able to actually come on here and actually do this. And today, I am so happy. We have company, guys. Joining me today is Chantel. Chantel, how are you?
I'm doing pretty well. We're both doing kind of solo recaps for this season. And we're realizing when we do our joint recap for Love Island UK that we have a lot of things to discuss. So we decided to help you catch up by having some company to recap, the episodes that you have not caught up on yet, and get you back on track. So I have lots of things to say that I've been saying in my comment section or other people's comment sections, but I haven't said out loud yet to everybody, to you and to everybody in the audience. So I'm happy to get some things off my chest because not everything I'm in agreement with the majority, Yeah.
So, yes, Chantel will be here. We'll be recapping episode 13. And then I will be back tonight with Miss T-Joy to recap, I believe, episodes 14 and 15, Tuesday and Thursday. And then possibly we'll all be back tomorrow together to recap last night's episode. So lots to chat.
I haven't watched last night's yet.
Yeah.
Because how I've been doing my recaps is I've been watching live and just responding in the moment.
Yeah.
So if you hear anything or if you hear anything about last night's episode, please don't. I just haven't seen it yet. I want to have my live reaction when I watch after this.
Perfect. That actually works. So I will not try to go too far ahead. We will not spoil Chantel.
Thank you. I'm gonna watch right after this, but it's just like I fell asleep early because I woke up early yesterday, and so I meant to get it done, but I was like, I just don't feel like doing a recap right now.
Yes,
that's too tired.
I know the feeling.
I literally went to bed at like 11, which is unheard of for me.
Were you the person who told me to watch Love Undercover?
Yes. I need to watch the last 2 episodes, but it's good. Did you watch the whole thing?
I'm at 4 or 5.
Okay, it's good, right? Like it pisses you off.
Yes, sure. I'm so pissed off right now.
Yes,
I want to throttle some of these people.
Now, do you think? So I don't know if I'd asked you. I'm gonna ask Asia myself, but the girl, what's her name? She's kind of light skinned black. I don't know if she's mixed or not.
Yeah.
Is that her name?
Or Ariana.
Yes, Ariana. Her last name is Welch.
Really?
And now that I look at her, I'm like, you look like Asia. They don't follow each other on social media, but because they're both on shows, maybe they unfollowed. But I feel like they look like they could be in the same family, like cousins, second cousins for sure. Same last name.
Yeah.
I feel like when they smile, they kind of look similar to me. Anyways, I just take a look now that you won't be able to unsee it.
I'll have to go back and really look at her. She kind of pissed me off too.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah. So, but I see why those men are single. So
100%.
Yeah.
But Mr. Spade is really hot.
I don't think he's hot.
I think he's hot.
I couldn't understand the draw. I am so attracted to Ryan.
Who's Ryan?
The black one, the Dutch black guy.
Oh, yeah. He's okay. His game isn't for me.
Yeah. He's a little more laid back.
I like a little bit more like oomph.
Yeah, I see that. But yeah, so what I started it because of Chantel, because she mentioned it, and I started it last night, and I was like, oh, I am pissed.
it makes you angry, but it's entertaining.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm definitely entertaining. I'm entertained. I'm still watching it. So, hi, Rachel. Welcome, Rachel. Thank you for joining us. So, yes, let's start this episode. So, we start this episode at the beginning, in basically moments after what ended on Sunday, which is Hakeem and Andrea are dumped.
Okay, this is
Rob,
where we are, huh?
yes,
Okay.
Rob is on his way out the door with Andrea.
Okay, was there any part of you that thought he was going to leave?
Did I thought
Oh
he
my,
was
no, you did
leaving?
not. No, you did not.
I
You
thought it was
didn't.
leaving. It
He
wasn't
was
so
like,
my
he's like,
audience.
hold me back. And I gotta go. I gotta go. Like,
I
there's no.
wasn't so my audience was like, he's not leaving. I was like, wait, what?
I was like, if he leaves, I would be shocked.
What was it the joy? Like, I just don't know if it was the joy of me thinking he's possibly gone because I was stoned. I seriously thought, and everybody in my chat is like, he's not leaving, Tamika. He's not leaving.
I was like, there is absolutely no way that this person was going to leave. Then when I was like, unless he's playing a real mastermind game where he's like, he wants to prove to everybody that he's actually a lover boy and this is the real deal. But I'm like, no, but he's too much wants the camera time. He came back on the season for camera time purely. He's doing all these antics and the tears and like, I was like, there's no way that he is going to leave. And I even called it. I said, I'm like, he's gonna go to Andrea and be like, I really want to leave with you right now, but I feel like I need to stay here for something else. Like I just need to see this experience through. And if we're meant to be, we'll still be together on the outside. I was like, he's gonna say that.
Oh my God. Oh God. Welcome, Mary. Yay. I caught both of you live. Yes, welcome. I'm so glad you got to catch us live. And hi, Miss Love. Yeah, so I had pontificated of whether or not Rob was an actor. And we have seen that he's been putting out certain content that possibly maybe he is. So, and on the other note, there's some video or screenshots, screen grabs from a video Andrea supposedly was in. So it looks like she also might have been also in the acting mode. So
Well, I heard Andrea is a singer.
singer.
And
Yes, it was
so
I think she was like a video girl in this one.
I haven't seen that one personally,
Mhm.
but yeah, I've heard that she's a singer, and the reason why she put on so much theatrics and she's crying is because she was just drawing out that 15 minutes because she expected to be there longer to get more visibility, possibly more Instagram followers that would boost her music career. And so, because this was the longest goodbye I've ever seen in
She
my life.
expected to be Sally. Oh. No, you were never not in the way that you came on this show, and we'll discuss it. Hi TA says, "Hey, favorite ladies, I have never seen after a dumping aftermath take up a whole other episode for for real." Hi, Jessica. Jessica says, "Have you all seen the supposed show Peacock is giving?" No, she's not giving her a show. It's a screen grab from a video she was in. Somebody tried to make it seem like she's in a Spanish version of like a love show. She actually was in a music video. Don't listen.
Jessica, can you send me the clip or
Yeah.
whatever that is, please?
Jennifer Ruby says, "Off topic, I saw Annie from VPR on an old episode of Two Broke Girls the other day." I never watched VPR, so I don't know who Annie is.
Ariana? Is that, yeah,
She said
Ariana. Who's
Ann.
and the assistant. Okay, so Anne, the assistant, is an actor, and she's also a comedian, and so she's been on The Office, and so this is very possible that she was on Two Broke Girls.
Oh yeah, she's his aunt's Thomas assistant. Okay.
Ariana's
Jessica
assistant now, but just saying.
Jessica says, "Okay, it was a music video. Somebody was saying it was a Spanish reality." Yeah, they were basically trolling, because everybody's thing is she's coming in for Casa more for Rob and blah 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 blah. So hi KB, how are you? Yeah, so everybody's crying. Like the guys are crying because Rob is leaving and Andrea is leaving, making Rob leave. The girls are crying because they've been attacked by like 90% of the men talking to them badly. This entire scene like pissed me off, especially Aaron. After this, like I've watched Aaron on two different shows. I liked how he handled being on Traders. I did not have a problem with how he handled, and I feel like he was like attacked on Traders. He was accused of stuff. He never acted this way. I never see like that one girl who kept insisting, "You're a traitor. You're a traitor." He never talked to her like this. He never talked to her the way he talked to these girls on this show. And I like after that, I'm sorry, you cannot. I don't care how much you apologize. You don't get to talk to women like this and it be cool and be kosher. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I definitely have been side-eyeing Aaron ever since. And what's his argument is that how could like we're supposed to be on the show for love and they found a connection? Why are you sending him home? It's not Friendship Island. Yet
That's
he's
not me.
crying over Rob. Rob is
Yes.
his friend. Like if Rob goes, he's going towards love, which is the whole concept of the show. You're saying you're supposed to come here to find love, not stay in the villa and be in love. So he was really irritating me, especially with the fact that he was had no consideration of Janae's feelings.
None.
Him saying that Janae didn't deserve to stay, I
Yeah.
think was really hurtful, especially, and I kind of agreed a little bit with Liv's thought process with the fact that hey, we're here to explore. They found something, so maybe we should still give Janae another opportunity. And then the guys are like, oh, well, she's had her chances. And it's like,
Yeah.
you really just want the Black people to get sent home because nobody's checking for them? That's what
Yes.
you'd prefer.
I mean, that's what I got out of it. First of all, it's you're not allowed to explore because not even that. You're not stuck to someone. All these other men have not been stuck to someone up until this point. They've been exploring. They've been jumping from couple to couple with no problem. Connor jumped from Janae. Um, Aaron got to explore. All these other, but the women. The moment the women explore, it's a problem. They tried to get Serena dumped the night before.
Yeah.
Because she wouldn't lock herself down to Cordell, which we will discuss a lot later. But so you wanted one Black woman gone because she wanted to explore, and you then wanted this next night for the other Black woman to go because other men have decided to explore beyond her. So you're a fucking hypocrite and a liar. Don't sit there and try to say that it's about being in strong connection. If it was about being in a strong connection, the audience decided that they weren't motherfucking strong and said, y'all can go ahead and dump them. We don't believe in them. That is the name of the show. Just because you are in a strong connection in the villa, just because you feel like your connection is the strongest in the villa, does not mean the audience thinks that your connection is either strong or the strongest, and it does not entitle you to win this show. Because at the end of the day, this is a game show. So yes, it is about building the strongest connection. We are in week 2. It's about building the strongest connection. It is not about sitting in a couple because you found each other and hoping the audience likes you until you guys decide to go home. Because when the audience says, nah, we really didn't like y'all as a couple and we're actually gonna dump you, they put them in the bottom with a friendship couple and another couple who were all together at the same time, meaning none of them were
It's
a
stronger.
strong couple,
Mm-hmm.
period.
100%. And it's really annoying that that Janae had to get to hear people just being so upset with her staying in the villa. It was really, I felt really bad for her, and she was crying a lot and be like, I know you don't want me here, but like, I'm so thankful that you kept me. And they're saying it's not it's not Friendship Island, whatever, but actually it is. The reason why that you got the opportunity to choose to make the decision is to use whatever base you want to choose to keep people on, but you had to come to an agreement, right?
Yeah.
So it could be, some of it could be friendship, sometimes it could be connections, sometimes it could be who you want to see find love, sometimes it's like, oh, I want to explore that person. Like, there's many reasons as to why you want to keep somebody over somebody else. And sorry, that's where the cookie crumbles. Sometimes they're going to keep somebody because they're better friends with them and they want to see them have a chance to explore love. And you know what? Other times they're going to keep someone that they think that has the strongest connection, that they want to see keep that connection growing in the villa.
Yeah.
It just so happens that your guy was threatening to go home because Andrea was leaving. It was always just an empty threat. And Aaron is just so gullible and just like so up Rob's ass. It's embarrassing and obnoxious.
Well, I mean, frankly, he's actually based on this episode. He was up both Rob and Connor's ass. And my whole thing is, why is Connor entitled to more of a experience than Janae? Why was he entitled to that?
Well, because
Like
he
that's the,
partnered up with Leah.
that says so much more about these men and some of these women. Like, I rate that Liv was like, she didn't get her experience, and she got there before her. She could have said, well, she was here OG, and I haven't gotten my experience, but she didn't get her experience. Like realizing that Janae got her experience cut off, and that ultimately Janae has been playing the game properly, in that she's trying to explore, but also she's been building friendships with these ladies in order, and sometimes putting herself at the back seat in order to allow them to explore. That is why she stayed, because not only was she still trying to explore, but she also was allowing other people to explore their connections that might infringe on her. And so that is why they decided, you know what, she's just as entitled to anybody, maybe even more, because she wasn't even an equation to go home.
That's true. Now, what do you think about? I saw a lot of comments saying that it's Janae's karma for getting rid of Coy and keeping Connor.
Yeah, no, I know that a lot of Black women have that stance. That I've been seeing it multiple times, that she shouldn't have chose Connor. She should have chose Coy. And I think I said this on our joint recap. If your body type celebrity crush is Kim Kardashian, you're loud and proud about that. That means, to me, it's a character flaw, because that means that you don't rate Black women. Because to me, Kim Kardashian has done things to change her body type, change her looks to fit the model she's seen with Black women, right? And so you can't think of one Black woman that you would rate above a Kim Kardashian. And Koi's celebrity crush, celebrity type, was Kim Kardashian. And I think we talked about it,
Karuchi.
Janae Aiko
Karuchi.
or Karuchi Chang. So none of them are Black women, like full Black women. Coy would have jumped ship. He's saying that he wanted to be with Serena, but my whole thing is, you could have been with Serena. Serena was right there taking things slow with Cordell. You had ample time to sit there and say, you know what, Cordell, I'm sorry, I want to be with Serena. You know what, Janae, I'm sorry, I want to be with Serena. And you know what they would have done? Step aside, and you know what? Probably coupled up together in a friendship couple.
Well, definitely Coy wasn't taking any action. Like, he wasn't showing who he liked. He wasn't having these conversations. He was just kind of chilling.
Yeah. He was,
And if he was absolutely, if he was checking for Serena, he was making moves towards that, there's no way that he would have been dumped.
no.
It would have been, I think that Serena or Janae would have just chosen maybe Cordell. You know what I mean? Like or possibly.
Yeah. And
I
and I think that once Nicole would have come in to the villa, I do think that he would have moved to Nicole. I do feel like, based on what he's saying, Nicole feels more like what he would probably go for. So no, I don't feel like Janae, this is karma for Janae. I feel like at the time somebody was giving her energy, someone wasn't giving her energy. The problem with Connor's energy was it was lies and falsehood, and the problem with Coy's energy was he it
it
was
was none,
probably
no
he
energy.
wasn't giving anything. It probably equates to the same thing. So how is this karma? Like, you're basically comparing an apple and an orange, but they both were acting like a fruit.
Yeah. I definitely don't feel that this is Janae's karma, and I think that it's typical of people to say that because they're just gonna like blame the black woman for choosing the white man, and
Yeah,
it's kind of frustrating that it didn't she didn't feel like Coy was pursuing her, and so they're saying like, well, she was in a couple with the black man, she should have stuck with the black man, and then she wouldn't have been in the situation. But he wasn't making her feel like he wanted to pursue things with her.
pursue a black woman.
So she's not getting any sort of energy. So let me just take a leap of faith here and see if there's something, because we seem to get along. We have like a good connection. We have good conversations. He seems to be interested in getting to know me. It feels good.
Right,
Let me see how that goes, because I'm not getting any energy from this guy.
right. Or like, if he had given a little bit of energy, but also said to her, I kind of also want to get to know Serena, but I know she's in a couple with Cordell, and they're going well.
Let's stay together, and then like we could see if we
Let's
could
and just
explore.
let's explore. And I think she still would have chosen him. Say, like, giving her something, but also being truthful that he wanted to if he really wanted to explore something with Serena. I still don't believe that. I didn't see any of that. He literally was talking to Serena for hours, and you know what he was talking to her about? Janae.
About liking her or like not
About
liking her, like
about her, like, they were sitting there, and Janae is talking to Connor, and they're like, he's like, she's been over there for a while. They
oh
and Serena's like, yeah, well, I mean, it could be going good. It can be. She does say that she likes him, but she likes you. She just needs more energy. Oh well, he was complaining about Janae to Serena instead of saying, well, what's up with you, Serena?
yeah, I think he's never seen the show before and doesn't know really how to play it.
Maneuver. Yeah.
Yeah. Because yeah, that's just not the way to stay in the game.
Hi, Danita. Welcome, Danita. Yeah. So, oh my gosh, we have so many comments, but we'll do this. KB says Aaron's true self has arrived. He behaves like a toddler, disgusted the way he acts. Even when Kayla tries to confront him, anger still simmering. Yeah, like, I did not like even the way he was talking to Kyler. Like, it was disgusting. And Jessica even points out, like, the whole issue with Aaron is the entitlement. Janae deserves to be there just as much as Andrea. He was very nasty, and he is a hypocrite. He didn't care about Andrea. It was just about Rob. Exactly. None of this was about the women in the situation. This was all about his friend, which is why it was like, you do realize that you're still making it Friendship Island, because you were never going to get rid of Rob. You were never going to get rid of Connor, because they were your friends. But it was okay. But the black people in this villa were
Expendable.
all expendable. Hakeem, Janae, and Serena. That is fucked up.
Yeah, and they wanted to keep Hannah,
And they wanted to keep Hannah. Yeah. Who's also white presenting. So and KB also present entitled trio. Aaron, Rob, and Common. That's all I got from it. It's just entitlement. You feel like you and whatever white women are entitled to find love, to be in a strong connection,
to be on the show.
to be on the show, to make these moves. But if nobody wants the black woman, that's her fault.
That's her
sorry.
fault, and she should leave the show because she hasn't found any connections. It's like, what?
Or if a black man does like a black woman, like Coy liked Janae, and Cordell liked Serena, they're supposed to just sit in those couples because that's all they're entitled to. Fuck you.
Well, and also, like, well, not even that. With like Cordell is not allowed to explore that, even if they think that maybe she's not being truthful or honest. He's not allowed to explore that because they don't want her in the villa.
Right. Just all weirdo, disgusting behavior. And Jessica says Love Island's always been about relationships, romantic and platonic. People like to pick and choose based on the scenario. Um, that's where, like, and it's true. Like, you can't sit there and be upset that it's Friendship Island at some point, but also be basically putting your friends ahead of the situation. Oh, that's so weird. Okay, I don't know.
What happened?
Eve said, I think it was Eve said she couldn't hear. Eva Walker said she couldn't hear, but I think everybody else can hear. If you guys can't hear, let me know. I was just checking to see if she was listening on Instagram, because that I can't help. But yeah, so I think it all comes down to whether, like, I feel like it all comes down to if you view black women as dateable, as
Hmm.
that has the human, how do you say it, like,
Capacity to find love, to
capacity to
be
find
loved.
to be loved, this is not the stance you take. Especially Aaron has been acting like this entire time. People swore how much of a friend he was to Janae. So if you view her as such a good friend, why would you do any of this? Why would you do any of this? Because you should know that this was a hard decision for them.
100%. He likes Rob more than he cares about Janae's experience. That's just flat out what it is. And the reasons being, I mean, he seems like he's in love with some of these guys. That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
A lot of cuddling and a lot of like tears for like, yeah, I think he said more tears for Rob potentially leaving than he's done for Kayla when she's like making out with all these other guys. So I don't know, like his love for Rob is definitely overpowering his like for any of the black people in the game, in the
Yeah.
show.
Um, I feel like, and I do have to, like I said this before, this is something I disagree with. If your celebrity crushes are not, there's no black women in there. Like for Cordell, his celebrity crushes were Meg The Stallion, Beyonce, and then another like mixed black woman.
Okay, someone was commenting or like rebuttaling,
Mm-hmm.
saying that Janae's celebrity crush was Renee from Bridgerton.
Renee Page. So
um and some other mixed people. I can't remember who the other people were. And
right,
they're saying that she also didn't have like a black person as her celebrity crush, like full black. And
right.
so does she get painted with the same brush?
And I said yes, because I don't think that she dates black men. And I also said that that's not to say that she's not entitled to love. Again, I feel like that's also her cultural upbringing. The woman has not lived around a black community, right? She lived in a military community. I said this in my show, like the first couple of episodes. Janae has moved around in Asia. She was born in Hawaii. None of those have large, like, military bases and all that stuff. They don't have large black communities in them. And I feel like that really kind of does show that your upbringing should have impact on who you date, and we're seeing that. But there, I mean, she's mostly picking mixed black men, though. Like, she's not picking just full white men.
Mm. Who else? I don't remember who else was their celebrity crush. Does anybody in the chat remember?
Don't remember, and I'd have to pull it up. But yeah. So, do I think that she primarily dates black men? No, but again, I also see that as upbringing. Whereas I feel like Coy tried to present that he just dated black
Oh, it's
women.
Travis Kelsey. Yeah, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, which also, again, she's in Vegas. She's a day trader. Again, I still stand by this. I just don't feel like she primarily would lean towards a black man, because that is not um that's
That's not what
probably
she's been
not,
around
yeah,
and who she's dated in the past
yeah.
necessarily.
And KB agrees. So
So
I
now,
think
do you think that it was strategic for her to have originally chosen Coy?
strategic.
Right, like choosing Coy to like. I mean, Coy is definitely a handsome man. He's
Yeah.
tall.
No,
And
she came on and she said she likes tall men. Like that was in her video. Like just like Serena came in and said she likes short men and has yet to actually follow through on it.
but I do think though that Coy should have chosen Serena from the beginning, because I felt that their
I said that.
connection when they kissed was better.
Yes.
I feel like he picked her up,
Yeah.
wrapped her
I
legs
said
around
their
him.
kiss was like, I do understand why Serena went on his heart. Their kiss was unreal. Their kiss was a really good connection, which was the point, which is why I liked that game, which was the point of that game, was to see if, not just based on body and physical type, um, basically connecting on another level, physical, like sexual, which we haven't gotten to do on Love Island prior to this, not none of the seasons, UK or this. So I did like that about it. But the thing is, then Coy didn't stand on business and actually go with probably who he more
Was connected to.
sexually connected to,
Yeah, I
and still
I
his
think
problem.
Serena's beautiful, but I think the outward package of Janae was something that he
Mhm.
was more like, ooh, like
Yeah, like
like
I
big
think she was a
boobs and
little
that.
more, exactly. I think she's a little more closer to the body type that he likes. If Kim Kardashian is his, celebrity crush. Also, too, like if it's Karuchi, same thing. She's a little bustier. She's a little more. She's petite still too. So yeah, I do feel like, maybe for him, Janae was more of a best of both worlds situation.
I'm just thinking about it now. I think with this potential dumping, the reactions, I think that they're still punishing Janae, even though
Yes,
they love Connor, but they're punishing Janae for dumping
dumping Coy.
Coy.
Yes, because
Uh,
they feel like she should have just stayed with the black man. How dare she go outside of herself and choose a white guy? Yes, that's what I'm saying. She's being punished not just on, like, in the comments and in the media. She is being punished on the show.
and I'm
She's being
thinking
punished on the
that
show.
these men, so far, it seems like as a group, I don't think individually they're all like this, but as a
Mhm.
group, they like punishing the women
The women,
for their like these choices,
their
because
choices. Hmm.
what as we see these episodes go by,
Yeah.
the women are getting so much heat for
Yes.
doing the things that the men are doing
Yes.
and villainized
Yes.
and yeah. So these men are kind of problematic. It seems like it's mostly Rob and Aaron and Connor
Hmm.
that are kind
Yeah.
of.
I was gonna say this because we see here Janae's crying to Miguel, and she's like, "I know they don't want me here." Because Hakeem said it's okay. I would have dumped me too. Hakeem took it well. Because they had Connor, who's supposed to be his bestie, give the news, and he says, um, I would have. I get it. I didn't have a romantic connection yet. We were still like making steps towards that. But Janae cries to Miguel, and she says, "I know they don't want me here." And he says, "No, it's not that, right?" So even Miguel's also an outsider. He wasn't there when Coy was there, so he's able to console Janae
He
because
did think it was messed up, the choice that the women made, but
yes,
he was willing to console here.
yes. And so it is literally Aaron, Rob, and Connor who are the ones who are holding, even though Connor benefited from the decision making, he's also holding this against her like, well, she should have known, because the way he's been treating her the last few episodes have been utterly disgusting, makes absolutely
No,
no
you're just
sense.
like, where's your gratitude,
Yeah.
dickhead? Like,
And he's basically done everything to like get at her for no reason, and nobody can understand it. Now I do think like in the next couple of episodes we do hear things that makes it kind of make sense of why maybe he was doing that, but also still no excuse, absolutely no excuse for how he treated Janae. Like, either you were told things and you just never discussed it with her, or you're a horrible person, and this is
who you
how
are.
you are, right? So Aaron does tell Rob to not leave without them chatting. Rob ITMs, we're here to find a connection. She did that. We're here to test our connections. She didn't have a chance to do it. It's not fair. Because according to him, he came on here. He had faith that the show works. So Aaron again says, don't leave without us chatting. And we see also Cordell is like, I'm sorry, telling Andra, I'm sorry that he knows that it hurt Rob. But also, Cordell is not like, had not been shouting, not been, reaming the women for their decision. He understood that it was a hard decision for them, because first of all, Serena had already said to him, "You guys do not dump Janae," because she knows how this show works, and she, but he also can be in Rob's place, that this is must be hard that Andrea is going home. And he also apologizes. He's the only one really that went ahead and apologized to Hakeem that, oh, maybe we also made the wrong decision by sending you home and not giving you a chance, and like cutting off your chance to find love. He's the only one. He's the only one.
Well, it's definitely indicative of their priorities. Now, obviously, Rob was not going to be the one that was going to be going home in this scenario.
Right.
And it wasn't because he found a connection with Andrea. It's because
Right.
they like Rob and he's an OG. Oh, we lost we lost Tamika. I wonder what happened there. Oh, I can't grab comments.
Sorry,
Ah!
I'm
Oh.
here.
Oh, okay. I was like, I don't have any
Yeah, I went to
power.
scroll in the comments, and again, get a Mac, they said.
I mean, I'm a Mac girly, so I
Whatever I did, it went that way instead of
Oh,
this.
you probably just like put all your fingers and swipe to the side and you
Yes.
exited the
Yeah.
page. You got to be careful of that.
Yeah. But yeah, so like, I just feel like that's indicative of how they feel about Black men, Black women, unless they are not in jeopardy, right? So I feel like with Coy, none of them were in jeopardy, so it wasn't a problem. Whereas Matt Gurley here, I love my whereas I feel like here, it was us or them situation, right? So Hakeem had to go.
Yeah, it sucks so that it was all overshadowed too. Like Rob, I'm leaving, and like nobody other than Cordell seemed to really pay any mind that Hakeem is also being dumped here as well. And like the fact that they would have been happy with two Black people leaving in that scenario, I was like. I was also fuming there. I was just like, I kept on being like, optics? You're not even considering the optics?
No.
Not even considering the optics.
No.
Like, even if you feel a certain way, wouldn't you be like, you know what though? It really just doesn't look good that we are not allowing the two out of the four Black people still in on the show to find love here. We're getting rid of them because they've had a challenging time. Interesting. Yeah. It's interesting. The people that are having a challenging time are also being kicked off the show for not being able to find love.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. Interesting. Think about that, guys.
Like they're saying it's because those people had their chance and that their connections didn't work, and that they're just there to basically jump from connection to connection, as if these people haven't been jumping from connection to connection. Kendall's on his second or third connection.
Well, Hannah, who you never liked, and then now Nicole.
Tried Liv,
tried Liv, yeah, and then
Nicole, And then same thing with
Now, Liv, she should have just chosen Kendall.
chosen Kendall. I still feel that. She
I
said it.
I
Oh,
knew she was going to choose Rob, but I thought that she should have chosen Kendall. Astrologically, they work.
yeah.
Like I thought he was giving her too much energy, and he was too eager, and it wasn't attractive to her at that point. But I thought that he would have been a stable choice.
Mm-hmm.
He was
Did
not
you
going to jump ship, likely.
did you see the episode when she said that though?
Not like last episode or like 14, 15, I think.
Yeah, that she said she still has Kendall in her top.
Yeah, number 2.
And I'm
Next to
just like,
Miguel, I was like, okay, your picker's off, girly, but
I'm like, but my whole thing is, why not try Kendall? Why is she not trying Kendall? Is he too old for her? Because we found out that Liv is 22. Her and Cordell are the same age, and they're all the same age as my child. So I'm just like, I do think it does lend a lot to how she reacts to things, but also, like, is it that he doesn't want to date a 22-year-old?
maybe. How old is he? 27?
I think he's 27.
I mean, I would like her to give that a shot.
Me too.
Or at this point, I mean, we're bouncing ahead a little bit, but like, or she can go. Like, I had an episode or two where I was team Liv. I think it was at the end of this one and next episode, and then I'm off the train.
Mary points out something that is very important here. Janae and Liv are sexualized too much by the men. You can tell they want them sexually, but do their bidding, but not much more. Absolutely. I agree with this. And it's sad.
That's really shitty. And I think Rob also was sexualizing Andrea, because the fact that he was saying when he was doing his antics about wanting to explore Andrea, he said to Leah that, the sexual attraction isn't really there. But then when he's having conversations with Andrea, he's saying that he hasn't ejaculated.
Yes, I said this here. Guys, didn't I say that here? I said that. I said every time we hear them having, because I said, I don't see, like, he's saying, oh, I didn't learn anything about Leah. And I was like, but I don't see what you guys are learning about each other. When we see you guys having conversations, you're just talking about how hard your dick is and how you haven't gotten to ejaculate in however long. Like, no.
And so to me, I think that he was definitely horny for Andrea. And I think he felt as though she was going to let him come inside of her, basically.
I can see that.
More so than maybe Leah would have. Like, I think Leah and him were kind of building something a little bit more stable, as much as, like, in future episodes, Leah's a little bit different than maybe she was perceived at this particular time. But I think that it was more of like a real relationship. And I think that Andrea was a lot of sexual chemistry, and he really wanted to sleep with her. And he used that, like, attraction to make it seem as though they have this really strong connection, strong bond. But I think he just wanted to fuck her.
Yeah. I think he was waiting for the hideaway to open. Does this villa have a hideaway, guys? We have not seen the hideaway once. Not once. Not in preview. Nothing about the hideaway. Nothing about the hideaway. Meanwhile, it was like a third character last season. Nothing about the hideaway this season, but I do think that he was probably waiting for the hideaway to open, and then he was either going to explore when Casa Amor came on or whatever. But yeah, I definitely, and even Mary saying it, forgot about that with Rob and Andrea. And Danita says all of Andrea and Rob's were sexual. Only thing I learned that she wants a date on the beach and he wanted to catch snakes with her. Where's the deep connection? Exactly. And that's what they're not understanding. They're not understanding, no matter how much you guys think that these couples, you guys are so strong, we're not necessarily seeing it. And hi, Miss T Joy. Miss T Joy and I will be back later to recap episodes 14 and 15 tonight, guys. So make sure you come back tonight at 7 Eastern. And she said, I was thinking about the hideaway yesterday. And Danita said, what if they do a twist where the hideaway opens up during Casa? Oh, Lord. Probably. Lord Jesus.
Well, the
Oh,
ones going to the hideaway are going to
yeah.
be Miguel, right?
Yeah, like period. Or maybe they have been doing the hideaway, but none of these people have been taking it because again, none of these are actually in connections. They are just there. So let's go through some more of this episode. Like we see Aaron and Rob chat, and he's like, "I don't want you to go anywhere." And Rob said, "But I came here to find a connection, and I did." And Aaron says, "I just don't want you to go." And Rob says, "Only reason I thought about staying was because of you, man."
Oh
And
God.
Aaron, "It will be shit without you." And I'm like, at this point, please, can we not do this? Please, like, ugh,
I mean, I just didn't believe it. I'm like, when's he gonna turn around and say,
yeah.
like, yeah, I gotta stay here. Like these are the connections that I've made and I want to see this through.
Yeah. So Aaron ITMs, I just want Rob to be here selfishly, but I want him to be happy as well. The girls were either being protective of Janae or Nicole, or they were being spiteful because he ended up things with Leah and didn't want Liv. That's why they sent Andrea home. They didn't want Rob to be happy. And I'm like, so none of those reasons that you just listed were good reasons to send Andrea home. Because they all sounded like good reasons. They were either being protective of Janae or Nicole, or they were being spiteful because he didn't want Leah and Liv, and their relationship started like shit. None of those were good. They were all good reasons to me personally.
Well, absolutely. And I kind of wish that they would have just because there's at one point, I think Liv was saying, well, who should we have sent home? Who? And I was like, who?
Answer
Who?
it. Answer it.
Who? Tell
Who?
me who. I
Yes.
wanted them to say who would have been a better choice. I wanted it to come out of their mouth.
Yep.
Because they were so confident that they made such a bad decision, but they
Yep.
weren't willing to vocalize what a
Who?
better decision would have been to send home.
Right. Because to me, they should have sent Nicole home then.
I mean, they do like they didn't send Nicole home, and like I understood their rationale is that there's two people that Nicole is kind of figuring things out with, and two people that have a potential interest in her, and so I thought that was a good enough reason to keep Nicole.
Right. But also, those two other people had other connections in the villa that they could have focused on if we were going by strong connections. If we're keeping Rob and Andrea because of strong connections, those two other people have other strong connections. And the only person who did not have a connection to explore and should have gotten a chance was Janae. Send Nicole ass home. How do you like that? I'm like, why is Kendall complaining? Why is Nicole complaining? Although it made it seem in the preview that she was complaining, she actually really didn't. She wasn't complaining as much as I thought she was going to be complaining in here. But I'm like, why is Kendall complaining? Why is Kendall? Your ass could have been home and your girl with you. Why are you complaining?
Yeah, I don't think they realized that Janae wasn't really an option.
No. When they watch it back, it was like, oh, so wait, Janae was never. It was like literally down to the collar trigger. Okay, so got it. All right, yeah. And then this pissed me off. Aaron says that they are such idiots. That was the most selfish thing ever to do. I don't want to say it, but Janae had to leave. This was, she's got all the time to explore connections, and with all due respect, she's fucking didn't get to find one, so she should have gone. I was like, oh, now you're on my shit list.
Who said that?
Aaron. Like before, I didn't like him. Now he's on my shit list.
No,
how dare you say this?
He really turned into like a hateful person.
Yeah. Rob says, I know. And Aaron says she had two relationships that didn't work. It's Love Island, not Friendship Island. We're not here to keep fucking friends while you are sitting there crying because you kept your fucking friend on the island.
And you don't want your friend to leave. I gotta go. Like, well, let him go. He's found love.
He told you he found love, and you're selfishly trying to keep him here because he's your friend. I'm
going, man. I love the way Ariana was just like, I can't tell you what to do, but I don't think it's a good idea.
Stay. Yeah. Hi, Mary. Welcome to my channel. KB says, nasty work from that Aaron. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I don't trust Blue Eyes.
Yeah.
I don't trust.
Andrea and Nicole chat as they walk up the stairs, and Andrea said they did all of that because they're closer to Janae. Yes. And Andrea said,
Exactly.
like, that was the whole point. You did not build a relationship with the girls, and they had to make a decision that would have been helpful if you made a connection with all the girls, not
Well,
just
and
who
that's
you
also
like to
another
tell.
thing too. Yeah, Andrea didn't. She was only putting all of her energy into Rob, and it wasn't enough.
No, like she literally put all her energy into Rob. She talked to Liv and Kyler here and there. Um, nothing, no, didn't write her relationship with Leah. I don't think she really even talked to Serena and Janae. Like nothing, nothing, nothing.
And say they say it's not Friendship Island, but
It's
sometimes you need friends to keep
right.
you in the game.
Correct.
So she
Nicole.
misplayed it.
Yeah, Nicole says, "Yeah, I know that if anything, I thought it would have been me." And I was like, "Yeah, it was almost you, but they liked you better because you're exploring connections." And Rob, and she's like, "Is Rob gonna leave with you?" Andrea says, "I don't know." Hakeem comes over and says, "Rob has been real. I'll catch you outside. We can catch snakes." Rob says, "I think I'll walk out with you because, guys,
He wanted
why
people to
should I
say,
stay?
"Stop! Don't go."
Why should I stay?" All the guys now surround him. All of a sudden, now Rob's lamenting, so all the guys have to surround him. Nicole says, "This is so fucked," as they're making their way up the stairs. Connor says, "I can't imagine you not here." Rob. Andrea says, "I just didn't see that coming at all." I was like, "I did." Um, Nicole says,
I was like, I mean, their reasonings, I get it. Like they don't want to get rid of Janae. I bought their reasonings,
"Yeah,
and there might be a tinge of like getting back at Rob for being a dick to Leah and Liv. Win.
that's what I said." I listen. I agree. I think those are all reasons. Miss Teacher says Aaron is on my list as well. Done with him and his special. Um, and Nicole says, "I love all the girls, but I just don't understand it." Understand that you're still in the villa. Understand that, girl. That's it. That like there's nothing else to understand.
And it's like yes, we get that you're close with Andrea because you guys came in together. And so for her, she's like, that is messed up because she hasn't done any of this experience without Andrea. But
Right.
also they haven't done this experience without Janae. So
And so Shanice is pointing out here, and hi Shanice. Andrea was too busy talking shit about the other girls to make friends with them. That's why she left. Like she was sitting on couches, like, "Oh, Liv is gonna go interrupt Janae's conversation. She's gonna be pissed off, taking pot shots, talking about Hannah, talking about this is the most she's worked out the whole time she's been here. You just got here, bitch. You got here 2 days ago. How are you saying that? Taking pot shots at the girls that you needed to stay in this villa. That's your fault." So Andrea, again, it doesn't make fucking sense. Janae had so many chances to meet someone here and it didn't work out. You're gonna kick out the one connection that's fucking working. I was just getting to know Rob so well, and in fact, I really liked him. You are just getting to know Rob, meaning your connection just started. That does not mean that it's stronger. That doesn't mean that you are entitled to stay here to win the show. Sorry.
and Rob's probably like, okay, good. I don't have to break up with this one in a weird fashion. I can start again.
I can start again. We'll start over. So Janae does say to the other girls, "Thank you." She is in complete tears, and I felt so bad for her. I felt so bad for her. And she's like, and Liv was like, "No, we know you weren't even a choice. You have been playing. You haven't been playing it safe. That's why you're still here. You tried with every single person. You put us first. You put us first, which is why we chose you. And I will stand by that and say that a million times to anyone who needs to hear it. That is why you deserve to be here." Janae says, "Yeah, because I'm trying. I wish that they could see that I'm trying." And Liz like, "Exactly. But you know what? They don't have to see. You don't have to prove anything to them. They didn't make the decision." And I was like, Liv.
That's when I was liking Liv.
Yeah.
I was
And
like, okay.
so Janae just, and I get her point. Oh, again, just because it is kind of Friendship Island. She's like, I just feel like they're gonna be mad at me because I'm still here. So I get her, right? Like at this point, whether you're not leaving or not, are they gonna make your time there uncomfortable? Are they going to make your every potential connection an issue, right? At this point. And so Liv says, no, they aren't because you didn't make the decision. And so Liv is taking on, like, we're going to stand by our decision. It has nothing to do with you. So Janae, ITMs, I keep on getting my feelings hurt. I keep being open with my emotions, and I'm trying. So for the girls to see that and believe that I still deserve to be here, it just means so much to me. I just wish the boys could see that, and I do feel that. I feel like of all the people, Janae is always the first person to be open with like new people coming in. But also really focusing on where she's at the point, but also helping the girls to be open and pitch hitting for them where she needs to be. She's been one of the brightest spots, in my opinion, in this villa.
And I really wish that Miguel had just chosen Janae.
Yes,
It would have really it
made
would have
things.
really changed things up a bit, and it would have been
Yeah,
less toxic.
yeah, I think
But
so.
I guess we also wouldn't have seen everybody for their true colors, so
This is also fair. We would not have known that Aaron is such a dick. So,
it's
Hakeem,
like everybody would have just dumped Liv, and nobody would have been that upset about it, I don't think.
yeah, maybe not. Hmm.
Because I don't think that they'd be clamoring to stave Liv over Andrea and
Right. Liv didn't
Nicole.
get her experience as upended as Janae did, based on what happened with Liv and Leah and Connor, I would say. Yeah. Denise says, I know Cordell said he wanted to act, but Rob is the one auditioning for a Netflix series. I believe it. I believe it. Mary says, it's always friendship when in actuality send the person who had the most connections home or the person with zero connections home. I mean, I just feel like you should survey what it is at the
Yeah,
time.
it's different for each
Yeah,
combination of people.
yeah, yeah. Um, so we do see that Hakeem to Connor and Cordell, Kendall, and Miguel, they're doing like one-on-ones with him and saying goodbye to him, and he's just like, yeah, it sucks, but there's no hard feelings. And like I said, he took this well. Miguel though is like, I can't stop shivering because like this was so overly emotional for everybody. They made this
And it
situation.
went on for so long, like, it was like
I was
45 minutes. It's like, okay.
we watched like every past Islander has said they literally give you 30 minutes. They kick you out in 30 minutes. I counted it. We watched 15 to 20 minutes of an edited section of just this, guys. Just this. So they must have been there for at least an hour. They had to have been.
Unless some of the things were happening simultaneously and we were seeing them,
In
like,
tandem.
yeah.
Yeah. Like, but we saw a good bit, and I was like, can these people leave?
Yeah, I know. I was like, okay, let's wrap it up. But enough with this, like, these two lovers being torn apart by the evil women. Like, okay, let's go.
And
Bye.
Shardee's points out it was so dramatic for no reason. That's what I got to at a certain point too. So we see here Cordell is like, this is fucked. Hakeem, I'm sorry. He's starting to feel guilty about Hakeem now. Aaron then realizes and starts apologizing to Hakeem. Oh, I'm sorry. I do feel bad. I got so angry and heated in the moment, and I just feel like I left you out. I feel like shit. Do you? Now you realize that the black man's a person too. And Hakeem is just like, I get it. I understand. I don't take it personally. And listen, for the dickhead that Hakeem had been up until this point, I feel like he took this dumping really well. He could have also been like, I just as much deserve to be here, but he knew the game and he went out really well. So we finally see Rob, because I was like, also, Rob has not talked to Andrea. He's talked to every single other person to get them to try to convince him to stay in this freaking villa, and yet to pull the strongest connection that he's had here.
This is so fake. He's
So
so
fake.
phony. Well, just like when he's like hugging her, he's like, "We could get through this." Like he's just so over the top. Like I can't believe they're doing this to us, and we're so strong. Like I'm like, okay, just say
The
goodbye.
only thing
Say
I
your
found out,
thing.
yeah, the only thing I realized about this section was, oh, they have a living room. So he does pull her to the living room, and they do chat about how this is so messed up, and so he's like, oh, what do you want me to do? Like trying to throw the decision on her, and she's like, well, I don't want to make this decision for you.
No, no, do you realize the timing of it is like they're kissing for a second, then he pulls back,
Yeah,
and he's like, "If you ask me to stay, if you ask me to leave with you, I'll leave." Like, get out! You know that she's not gonna do that.
yeah. No, that was later on in the
Oh,
conversation. This was them going back and forth about it.
oh,
Yeah. So he did that, like, well, you aren't you aren't just tell me what you want. And she's like, I just want to be with you, but I don't want to be selfish. And Rob's like, I know. And she's like, it's just fucked because it's like I found something. And I was like, it just doesn't make sense.
did you see a
And
tear?
yeah, I did not. And Andrea keeps crying. She actually has tears because girl's makeup was done. So
I mean, she at least she looks decent when she cries,
yeah.
whatever. But I was like,
Don't do it.
don't cry.
Her exit photo was bad because it was like her face, like
Oh, it
no
gets
touch up,
swollen.
nothing. Because they probably was over it. They were like, "Listen, you've got to go. You can't touch up your makeup. You just got to go." And Jared keeps crying. It's like, I love. Oh, I didn't say that. I like you. I like you.
I think you don't think that that was contrived. Like I
Mhm.
love. Like shut up. He's
And she's
so
like,
phony.
he's so funny. And she's like, me too. I want to leave so bad. I just think I'll feel like an idiot later if I left. It's not like our connection is gone, but at the same time, like, why would I stay? But I can still see how I feel about you while I'm here. Like, it's just so obvious. Then I'll just leave. That's not dumb, right? I just feel like that. And Andrew's like, yeah. Rob's like, what if I meet a bunch of amazing people? Bitch, this has been your second season. I'm like, damn, I miss that girl. That just made us stronger. So I think I'm gonna stay. Andrea, well, I never thought I would find this. She kisses him. Rob, I know. I said all that. If you want me to leave, I will. Andrea, well, obviously I want you to, but so much. But I don't feel like I feel like you will regret it so much. So I don't want you to resent me because of it. I'm going to miss you so much. I'm going to miss you so much.
So you don't think
And
that this was an all an
scene.
act?
And scene.
You don't think that he orchestrated? It's like, ooh, this is good.
This is
This is good. Yeah, it's like it's this melodrama, telenovela, like two people that are being ripped apart. Like,
Yes, the world is keeping them apart.
but he needs to be here because there's something more, and like they can test their connection.
And Jessica, the dramatic reenaction is taking me out. I was an actress in a former life. Andrea fighting for her spot in Casa Amor. Please let us not do that. Please. I hope not. TA laughing here. So we do see him ITM. I just care about Andrea. This system failed her. Yes. It failed us too because you should have been the one dumped. Really. So we do see Leah in the dressing room. They hate me so much. Nicole's like, they were so out of line, and I know there's a time and place, but they weren't doing the picking for the girl. And she's like, and they made all you guys feel, well, it was just a fucked up decision, no matter who picked. And Liv just say, well, yeah, sending someone home, it feels like shit. You didn't like it. You didn't have to make the decision. It was fucked either way. So shut your fucking mouth. I loved everything. This is why I like every
I'd
line
like
that
to
she
live
said.
this episode
It's
and
so
next episode, and then
good.
that's it.
Yeah, yeah. Serena
Personally,
says,
but I know that it's not the same for everybody.
Serena says, I don't know. It was damned if we do and damned if we don't. We're fucking don't deserve to be spoken like that. And I'm glad Serena finally points it out, because I don't think anybody was talking about it to this point, that how they talked to them was absolute bullshit. It was
Yeah, if I
uncalled
were
for.
there, I wouldn't have held back my tongue. I would have been
No.
a live in this scenario.
Yeah. So Andrea returns and Janae says, Andrea, are you okay? She's like, no. And Janae's like, I know, I don't even know why I asked. But that's because Janae is caring. And that's why she asked. And Andrea says, it just doesn't make sense to me. I don't care what you guys want to explain to me. It just doesn't make sense. And Liv's like, I'm sorry, gorgeous. And she's like, I don't want to. She runs to the balcony. I'm just like, girl, like, they don't have
Go.
to explain anything to you.
Get
They
out.
just won't. Just go. Can you go?
Go.
And so, we do see Rob and Aaron on the dock, and he does say, I talked to Andrea and I'm going to stay just because I'm here. It doesn't mean our connection gone. It doesn't change the way I feel about her. And you know how I feel about her. Aaron's like shaking his head, yes. And I'm like, you're not really saying that, like, how you feel about her.
Like, how do you feel
Like,
about her?
really.
Like, you want to fuck her? Like,
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah. Rob ITMs, I'll look at it with no emotions. It feels like just if I look at it with no emotions, I feel like it's something that's easy to walk away from. No, if you look at it with emotions, you will see that if you actually like the girl who's about to walk out the
You would
door,
go.
you would go with her.
I was
And,
I was threatening him. I was like daring him. I'm like, go, Rob,
mhm,
go. I dare you.
mhm.
Go. I was like, well, I
I
know you're not
think
gonna
if
go.
Rob had left, we would like so many people would have been like, oh my god, see, he was real. Like he would have had so many followers. He would
He
have
would have
got
had a
like
redemption
blown
arc
up.
for sure.
He would have. And even like KK from last season, who knows Rob, did a whole I don't know if it was a TikTok, but I saw on IG. She did a whole reel on IG, like Rob not standing on, like, and she would know. She left with her connection. She didn't have to. Like, she was told not to, and she left. She could have stayed. I mean, it was the end of the show. I don't know if she would have found anything, but she could have stayed. Mary say, not even Shauna got this amount of time packing. I'm safe. KB, longest packing session ever. Like, seriously.
Get out.
It had to be an hour and a half or so. Like, we saw like literally 20-30 minutes of it. And that's all they're supposed
Maybe
to
she
get.
was like, you guys promised me I'd have more screen time. So like I'm dragging out this leaving because
Mm-hmm.
like I wasn't supposed to go.
Mm-hmm. Shanice says this was the perfect setup for Rob to play victim who gets revenge on the big bag Leah to avenge the love of his life, Andrea. Then he could go on and hook up with other girls without consequences. Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much. So Nicole does console her and does kind of ask her, well, is Rob leaving with you? And she's like, well, I want to be with him, but he's not. And I was like, She's like, oh yeah, Nicole, I understand. He would be regretful, right? She's like, yeah. And I was like, Nicole is like, um, whatever happened tonight, I know it would have been stopped, but I'm grateful to be here. But I think it's so unfair to Andrea. We came this close to, together because we came in together. And I'm gonna miss her and it's gonna be really hard. And I was like, you'll either get over it or you can leave too. At this point, I'm just like, whoever as a
Can't
friend,
get over it. Get out.
go with them. Because I don't want to hear it anymore. So now the boys say a proper goodbye to Hakeem. They're going to miss Connor. Miss him. Connor now all of a sudden remembers that they were supposed to also be friends and says it was a hard decision for me. It was the hardest decision, but it made the most sense. Yes. Yep. You didn't. Connor did not fight for Hakeem at all. Not at all. Not. Hakeem says Janae just started forming. Him and Janae just started forming something. I feel like I've grown as a person. I do feel like hopefully Hakeem grew as a person being around Janae. I think she just tried to
Check
teach
it.
him
Mhm.
how more to treat women. And Andrea says it's going to be really hard to leave Rob behind. I wouldn't be this emotional if it wasn't. Aaron consoles Rob. Liv consoles Nicole, but Nicole is pissed. She relates to Liv. Andrea kind of asked Rob to go with her, and Liv said he said no. And Nicole said, exactly. But you're going to make a whole show of that and stand there in front of us and yell at us?
Just remember this.
And I'm like, see, finally, people are starting to open up your eyes because that is narcissistic behavior. That is gaslighting. You made these women feel like they ripped your heart out, and then you sent the heart right out the window for as if it was nothing. Nothing. They call Kyler over and Serena and tells them that what Andrea said and how Rob said no. And Nicole says it makes her sick. And she's like, I'm grateful to be here, but I just feel like for him to take out the feelings on the girls was just selfish. And Liv explains it kind of came down to Andrea wasn't open to meeting people. We had to make a decision, majority rule, whether we believe it or not. And Kendall says, I don't know how we move on from this. Rob says, I don't know. And I'm saying, like, Kendall, what do you mean you don't know how to move on from this? Your girl, because like I could understand if he was like wishy-washy about Nicole. He didn't even know about the Miguel situation at this point. He just thinks Nicole is for him. So my whole thing is, you would think he would be more grateful that, but everybody is sitting there acting like they were on Friendship Island when you guys are focusing more on Friendship Island as well.
100%. And also the fact that it just shows that none of these guys are interested in Janae romantically. And
Yeah,
so that they just don't think that she deserves to stay there. It's
right.
because they have romantic connections with the other women, is
Mm-hmm.
that the reason why they think that they deserve to stay. And it's really annoying and irritating because Janae is not their preference,
Mm-hmm.
that she deserves to go. And like they don't seem to understand it. They don't
Yep.
understand it.
Yep. 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 So Rob says it was a hard decision. No one wants to be responsible for the decision, but Hakeem didn't have anyone that wanted to be here. Neither does Janae. It's 2+2. Am I crazy? Yes, you're fucking crazy. This statement doesn't pronounce how crazy you are, but how you been acting? Yes. Janae does say that it's crazy that Andrea and Rob stayed. That if Andrea and Rob had stayed and they were closed off to getting to know everyone else, every new Islander wouldn't have a chance. And she's actually pointing out something fair, right? That was the whole thing that Rob kept saying in the beginning. He didn't get a fair shot because there was nobody there that was willing to give him a fair shot when he came into the show last season. So again, you are being hypocritical and lying and maneuvering where it fits to you.
Well,
Uh,
because he just wanted to infiltrate, what was her name? Hannah? No.
this was Liv.
No, last season, the blonde girl,
Oh, it was Carmen.
Carmen, yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
Um, he wanted to get into that to get with Carmen, and she was with that relationship, but he wasn't able to make it into the villa.
Yeah.
Uh,
Thank God she came into the show with a relationship.
it was stronger than him trying to be all. I wasn't a fan of him on at Casa More, so my instincts were right about Rob.
Can you imagine if she had chosen him, like her outside connection didn't come in and she actually chose Rob and then went back into the villa with him? We would have gotten some of this then. Oof. So Janae says they're all staring because she's talking to the girls, and Aaron was staring her down. This was another gross behavior, just like you're staring down the woman because she got to stay. It was just so gross. It was so I'm over Aaron. Over Aaron. He could go to hell. Rob said, like, I've known her for 4 days and I've cared about her more than I've cared about many people. Then why didn't you leave? Those many people are outside, but now so is she. Leave. Cordell, I love the way Cordell states this. Cordell says, well, it is obvious that you feel some type of ways about that girl.
Well, it's obvious that you feel some type of way about that girl.
Oh my God. Mary says, do you think Rob would be able to manipulate more mature men in other games? Yes, because he's a pretty white man.
I don't know. I'm trying to think if he went on to say the challenge, because I feel like this is all auditions for other reality shows. I think that he's trying to do the Johnny Middlebrook arc where
Mhm.
he's like, comes in as the villain now. Like he's made himself the villain of love reality TV shows, and he'll be messy and get into relationships and stuff like that. So I think he's hoping to get on like the challenge. And I'm thinking that he won't be able to do it because
Older men, like if he was on Traders with Pilot Pete, like he wouldn't be able to do this with Pilot Pete. There's like what you're saying.
I don't think he'll be able to do it with Pilot Pete. I just don't think that his charm will work, or his mist.
Mhm.
His mist is working on these guys. It's surprising because I'm like, it's so obvious that he's fake.
I mean, well, okay. Um, I was gonna spoil something. Liv at asked Nicole, did she tell Miguel? Oh, sorry. Did she tell Kendall? And Nicole says, should I go talk to him? And Liz says, it's already heated with emotions. You might as well just go pull him. And says this with Kyler and says to Kyler, wouldn't you? And Kyler's like, yeah. And so Nicole just finally tells Kendall about what happened with her and the doc and Miguel. And they hug and they chat, and she Kendall says so emotional, and Nicole's like, yeah, I can't believe she's gone. I don't feel like it's fair. And Kendall says to Nicole, I was mentally prepared myself that it would be you. The last person I thought it would be was Andrea. So he mentally prepared that the girls would send Nicole out and he would still be there.
Exactly. So he's just jumping on the train because like they're all getting super mad at the girls.
Yeah. And that this is not Friendship Island, but you knew that your friends were always going to save you. They weren't going to send you home. But they would have, but they could have sent the girls home.
The hypocrisy is just living in this villa.
Oh my God. So when he said that and then like how he had behaved like this, at this point, I stopped feeling bad for Kendall. So everything he got after this, I was like, them's the breaks. So Nicole says, I definitely thought it would be me. But and this is also not the way I wanted to tell you, but I have something to tell you about my chat with Miguel. And Kendall's like, why? And he's shook at this point, like you could see it in his face and his body. And Nicole says, I told Liv, and Liv told the girls, and they felt I was being the most honest with myself and giving this a fair shot, which is why they kept me. But trying to talk to both of you, we did talk, and he did kiss me. It doesn't change the way I feel about you. And Kendall's like, no, you got to do what you got to do. I was like, oh, he is pissed.
He's pissed. He's hurt. It's just kind of like, well, because he's been building up for it, right? Like it's those handstand push-ups.
Yeah.
The Magic Mike body rolls. He was preparing himself for it, and then it actually came through. He's just probably like, go do what you want to do.
So Nicole says it makes me sad because I wanted to get to know you and I want to keep getting to know him. Because I don't want to hear that from you, but you're here for yourself and to find the best connection. He does ITM. I don't want to hear that. I didn't think it was the stage of them making out. I guess you're right, America, about our connection not being strong. I way missed that. So what do you think that we saw about Rob and Andrea? if we
Exactly.
saw that.
Exactly. That they aren't the real deal. They aren't as strong as their tears.
They hug, and then Miguel and Liv have a chat, and I try to like Miguel, and then he takes like 1,000 steps back because it's just very clear that he likes Liv sexually, but he knows that he would never date her. And then instead of kind of just like
He
saying
doesn't date
that,
anybody, so we had to just realize that he only makes sexual connections with people, and he doesn't get any deeper than that, it seems.
yeah. So he says, I want to be 100 with you. I'm going to explore our other connections. I pulled Nicole. We ended up kissing. I would like to get to know her better. And she's like, yeah, well, you don't have to ask me. But so Miguel's like, I know I'm not asking. I'm just being straight with you. She's like, I appreciate that. And Miguel says, I really respect how calm she was about it. It lets me know everything she said prior to this. We're both getting to know other people. There's no rush. There's no locked in. She meant that. And I fuck with that energy. Basically, she's gonna
Something that
let
she
me
could
do
walk
whatever.
over. Yeah.
Yep, yep.
It's like, oh, okay, great. So she's not going to give me any grief for doing whatever I want. Okay, good.
Ooh, Danita points out Rob is clearly the alpha male of this group, and Aaron is his beta. It's disgusting to watch. Fair, fair. And Rob is gonna make the men move mad in Casa, I guess, if he makes it. KB says Miguel is an F boy, and Mary says I would not mind Miguel on my bed. So I guess both fair assessment there.
I mean, I keep on saying like he's an F boy, but I'm like, but I would allow, I would have to make sure that I didn't catch feelings, but
Mm-hmm.
I would I would dabble.
Liz says it doesn't bother me until it's a situation where I'm being lied upon. I will speak up for it. And Miguel's like, that fiery nature of yours, I need to adopt it. It's very funny because she's a Pisces.
They're
Um,
both Pisces.
yeah. Aaron and Kyler chat, and Aaron says, I'm sorry. Aaron says, and Kyler says, I'm sorry. And I was like, girl, why are you saying you're sorry? He should be saying he's sorry to you. And this is when I knew, when she said, I'm sorry, before he said anything, I said, oh, yeah, Kyler's about to act an absolute dumbass going forward. And
Kaylor?
Kyler, yeah. Kyler.
Wait, say that again.
Kyler and Aaron get pulled for a chat, and the first thing she says is, I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, I'm like annoyed with Kaylor because she's so quick to agree with Aaron and go back on everything that she said and be like, oh, maybe we did make the wrong decision. It's like, no, you didn't make the wrong decision. Like, just because these guys are showing tears and they're so upset about what you did doesn't mean that you made the wrong decision. It just means that they have a reaction to it. And so the fact that she was so quick to jump here, I was like side-eyeing Kaylor. I'm just like, you are not a strong woman. Like, you don't stand up for your rights. You easily allow a man to dictate how you should think, how you should feel, how you should react to something because you want to keep a man. I was just like, bleh,
Yeah.
bleh.
Yeah. Aaron says he just deserves better. Look at Rob. And Andrea should not have gone tonight. So what are we just gonna be voting for popularity now? Kyler says it wasn't about popularity because honestly, I've had more conversations with Andrea than I ever did, Nicole. It wasn't about that. And also it was a majority decision. All right, well, it's just not right. Kyler said no one expected to shake things up and expected it to shake things up as much as it did. If we'd known that this was going to be an outcome, maybe it wouldn't have been the decision maker. And Kyler, I think that she should have had more of a say in the decision making because she feels bad for Rob. Didn't realize how badly it would hurt him. She feels very similar to Rob, I guess, in her personality. But if it was Aaron that had to go, it would have been a fucked up situation. And my whole thing is,
I don't think that they would be crying that much if it was Aaron.
no, And the fact that you did not think it would have affected Rob that much, because it wasn't it
It's because
wasn't
it's an act. All of this is an act, right? He
yeah,
shouldn't, a normal person, a normal 4-day relationship wouldn't have acted like this. And I think it's because they were both doing the theatrics, they were both putting on a show. She was putting on the waterworks. He was threatening to leave. It was all part of the act. And you guys are all buying it. But it's not normal behavior. 4 days, nobody is acting like this, and you shouldn't have expected them to, because it's not logical.
right.
It's not. It doesn't make sense.
And also Kyler is the one that was in the conversation, and we heard her say when everybody's like, oh well, Rob and Andrea, she's like, well, Rob still has a connection here with Leah. She really believed that he still had a connection with Leah, and so I don't think that she thought that it was that big of a deal.
Right? It's been 4 days.
Right. So Aaron said, did I shout at you? So you mean you blacked out so much you can't even remember that you shouted at your girl? How gross.
Well, that's why it's an excuse, being like, oh, I wasn't me. I was just so angry. I didn't see anything. I didn't mean it, babe. I didn't mean it. But like, no, your true colors came through.
True. Kyla says, well, you were just shouting. Like, you weren't shouting directly at me, but you were just shouting. I've never seen you that way. Kyla, Aaron's like, I feel bad. I'm sorry if I did. Kyla says, well, don't feel bad. I don't ever want to see her. And then she starts crying. And I'm like, girl, no, you should have told him that this is not how you talk to women.
Yeah.
And don't ever talk to me like that. I don't care if you were shouting in general. Don't ever talk to me like that.
Absolutely. I would have been pissed at Aaron. I'm like, yeah, like, I really didn't like seeing that side of you. I don't care if what your reasons are. Like, that was really gross to me, and it's making me feel a type of way about you.
Miss Love points out that Kyla's just young and she's immature. She needs to figure out who she is, what she thinks, and stand on that. She's very follow leader in her behavior. Yeah, and every time she keeps saying it, that she actually is a type of person who likes to go around and explore, but all these men always try to lock her down. And I just think that she doesn't know who she is. She uses the exploring to try to figure out herself, and she uses other things outside of herself to figure that out, and then she can't stand on business.
She sucks. Well, she's young, but she sucks.
Yeah. So Rob decides to sleep in soul ties.
What a moron. I was like, you're a loser. You have an empty bed. Like
you have a bed. Like, why did you leave?
It's like so mopey, going out to soul ties. Go on. Sorry.
And then Kyler's like, to live. Oh, it's fuck. We should have just kept Andrea. I was like, now I don't like you. Now I don't. Now I don't like you.
To avoid it's a threat, right?
Yeah.
To avoid this happening again,
yeah.
You got to do what the boys want you to do, not what you think is right in the moment, because you don't want them to feel a type of way about you or about
you as a person. Yeah, like treat you like Janae. God forbid they treat you like the black woman. Janita in the funky overall, for real. So Leah's like, why is Rob sleeping in soul ties? He's such drama. Fair. So finally, Aaron goes to make a rule and apologizes. And Janae, again, the kind person that she is, says, you're fine. And he hugs them all. And Janae's like, I'm just glad I know my girls got my back. Liv says that wasn't even a question. And so she does say to Liv and Leah, will you be my bridesmaids? And they say, yeah. I said, yeah, one of them might be, not the other. Miguel goes to Kendall and he says he doesn't want him to feel a certain way, so he's not going to beat around the bush, and so he does tell him that everything that happened. And Kendall says, yeah, well, she what did she say to you though? Like, he wants to know what the conversation was, because like, why were y'all kissing? And Miguel says, well, no, she said you guys are together for now. She said at this point nothing will happen until a recoupling, but she did say she was willing to recouple with me. And that
we didn't see her actually say that.
I didn't remember her saying. I think she did. I think the two kisses did allude to. Yes, but I think that's what he took it as. But that candle off. He's alone and he's freaking out. And he says, I don't want to waste any more energy on this bitch. And I was like, first of all, calling her out her name. Second of all, you did the exact same thing to Hannah when she wanted to explore a connection. You keep doing this. Oh, I'm back to square one. And I get it. He's a dumbass Cancer, but hello. Fight for the person you think supposedly she's your wifey. Fight for her. Man up and fight for her. Why do these people not fight for what they want if you really want it?
They don't want to lose. That's why.
It's
It's beta behavior for sure.
It is. So no, Nicole gets in the bed and he ignores her. And I was just like, come on, man. This is not the way to win her. You've already basically lost.
Yeah, exactly.
Weird. Just weird. So Cordell,
well, and what he's doing now though is exactly the reason why she would leave him, is because he's not exuding the confidence that she likes in him. Right? She likes seeing him confident, and she doesn't like him sulking and like, just go have him then. If you don't want me, go have him.
Yeah.
Kind of attitude.
And so the next morning they all wake up, and I want to point out something here. I noticed they're all squinting. And I was like, do nobody keep sunglasses by the bed anymore?
Oh, maybe they're not
allowed to. Do they not
know
this hack? That's what I'm saying. Are they not allowed to, or do they not know this hack? Because they're all squinting when they wake up. I was like,
well, I haven't seen any of them wear sunglasses, so maybe that's a new rule.
Yeah, so it must be a new rule, which is they wear them outside, but I noticed none of them keep it by the bed like they used to.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Connor does say it's quiet without Hakeem. You think? Dreadful Ruby says, I really don't like men calling women bitches.
I didn't even pick that up until you said it right now.
Yeah. Because I was listening to, because I went back and listened to what he was saying to himself, and I was like, wait, what was that? And I was like, and then it just made me mad. And I think I tweeted it. It's like, why don't men on these shows fight for the women? Like, if you want them, you have a leg up on him. You supposedly were with her for days. And yes, he might have a physical connection, but if you do this properly, he can't beat you.
He can't beat you because he doesn't know how to be in a relationship. Right. He knows how to be a fuckboy. He knows how to be an option. Right. But he doesn't know how to be the bona fide. So
fight. Don't act like you lost.
Well, like, even if you fight and you do lose, like, she, like, it just is attractive even to other women that you're willing to, like, to try to keep her.
Yeah.
I think to him, he thinks it just looks like he's a loser.
So we just see everybody hugging, and then we see another Rob and Aaron chat, and I was like, I wish.
Wait, you missed, like, in the morning when Rob gets up and he's putting on his overalls. He's so annoying.
I didn't even want to write his chats. I was paying no attention to his actual maneuvers. I'm like, why didn't you leave? I had you going. I apparently was the only one. Not even Rob had himself going.
Needs to draw out the whole thing.
Maybe Andrea had him going. So me and Andrea, apparently. So he says, oh, this is a lifetime experience, so might as well see it to the end, right? It's like, no, you can leave. You can still leave. Door's still open.
We'll try to dump you, but I don't think that he's going to get dumped.
No, me neither. So my friend put a poll on Twitter. It's like, who do you want to leave? Aaron, Connor, or Rob, Connor, or somebody else. And I said Connor. I said it would be Rob, but I know they're not letting Rob leave, so I would want it to be Connor. But no spoilers about last night's episode, guys, because she hasn't seen it yet. But yeah.
Wait, what did the poll say though? Did the poll say Connor?
No, the poll said Rob.
Oh, okay. Don't get my hopes up, but
yeah. No, the poll said Rob, but I was like, I would have chosen Rob if I had any inkling in my faith that the producers would allow Rob to leave. So I'm like, I just know how producer manipulation.
They
Yeah.
want I mean, he is making TV, right?
Yeah.
Like, it is dramatic. It
Yeah.
is wild, but
Yeah. But Danita says it because she was here when I was like, I was shook when they came. They were all in the chat like, Rob ain't leaving. I was like, what do you mean? I said, I don't know. And everybody's like, Tamika, he is not leaving. It's like, what?
I wish that I was live with you because I just feel like, what are you talking about? There's no
They
way
were
he's
all laughing
leaving.
at me. They're like, that man is not leaving. It's like,
I think you got snowed by Rob. I can't even believe it.
I think I was just, she said it. I was too hopeful that he would be gone and we would move on. It's like, what? Okay. So we do see that Janae says, I wish Rob would hate me less. And I felt bad for her. Kayla says, we think Andrea is a great person, but the other ladies left were just as deserving. And we went back and forth. First of all, we liked Nicole. Then we said Andrea. And I think she's trying to point out Janae was never in the conversation here. But also, I'm glad she did point out all the ladies were deserving. I don't know what the fuck y'all are talking about. So at least she said that. Leah says, well, what point in the going back and forth do we have to say we're sorry? And Rob's there, oh, another day in paradise. I'm like, guy, there's a boat. I saw a dock.
You could get on it and
Get
get out
on
of
it
here.
and get out of here. Cordell was like, that was a wild night, but your feelings are your feelings, and you're way more into your feelings than I am. I'm like, Cordell, that's also another way to put it. I'm like, Cordell keeps putting things in just so many ways without saying, you were a madman last night for no reason on a connection you didn't even walk away. Like, KB says, my sympathy tank halfway full between both lists at Love Island. I decided to reserve the rest of my sympathies for Cordell, Janae, and Mimi. Fair. Janae was like, what do you think Andrea is doing now? Serena crying. I'm sorry, I have to keep that in there because I was like, what do y'all think she was doing? She was crying last night. She really
Wait,
huh?
say it again. Say it again.
So Janae goes to the makeup room, and because all the girls are in the makeup room, and they're like, "What do you think Andrea is doing right now?" And
Oh.
Serena's like crying.
I think since Serena was crying, and I'm like racking my brain. I'm like, well, I don't remember Serena crying.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Nicole says, "I think she would be really upset that Rob didn't go. He just got her hopes up. He did kind of get her hopes up because he did all of that, standing behind her, hugging her up. I'm going." Katie says resting in a resting in a window seat on the flight home, maybe. Yes, crying. So she's like, if he had never stood up there, if it would have made it easier for her and for him to say then that he's not going, like, and Janae says he obviously said he was going to go and then he stayed. And Nicole says, that's the thing. And Kyler's like, I never expected his again, Kyler keeps saying the same thing. I never like, I don't think she thought it was that serious.
It wasn't that serious. It's 4 days.
Right.
Regardless of like if it's the love of your life, it's still 4 days.
Right. And Serena said, no, me either. And Leah says, I knew after he was a literal bitch and then this big one while we were up there sending you 3 home, then you're still here bitching. Why now? And I mean, all fair. Like, I feel like it's a fair assessment. It's weird behavior. So the guys talk about Kendall struggling. He thought he found his wife. I'm like, it is Love Island. Can you find a girlfriend for in fact, can you find a stronger connection first?
And just because you call someone your wife doesn't mean that they're at the same place as you. Like,
right.
Especially it's also been 4 days for you, Kendall.
That's what I'm saying. I don't understand. They're all acting like Rob, Andrea, Nicole and Kendall were together from from the top of the villa. Like I could understand if this was Aaron and Kyler and this
He has
happened.
been calling Kyler his wife from the
Right.
beginning, actually.
And from the beginning. And but also they have been coupled up since the beginning without any,
Well, they have the
like,
chemistry from the get-go when they first kissed.
right.
So
I could understand them kind of acting this way from like 2 weeks ago. Got it. Understood. Um, Nicole was like, "This is so stupid. I think Andrea should be here." And Janae says, "Andrea was your girl. You walked in, so it's understandable." And Nicole says, "It's just so emotional. Kendall hasn't talked to me." And I think that's the thing is, it's like she interrupted her connection too, so she's not getting anybody consoling her. And then her best Villa friend walked out the door, and she's like, he said nothing would change, and I get he needed more time. That really sucks because I really liked him. I'm like, girl, no, he said nothing would change if you talked to Miguel. He did not say nothing would change if you kissed him twice.
well, and also nothing you don't want anything to change with him, but something's changed with you. If you want things to be the same, they have to stay the same. But if
Right.
something disrupts it, he can't stay the same. He feels differently. It's a different energy, a different vibe. He sees you in a different light. Like obviously, he's going to change. Sorry, it's just how life works.
Right. So she does say, I think it's hard sharing a bed with someone who's clearly upset with you, which I can't be mad at. He's entitled. It is hard. Like I've literally laid in a bed with somebody who at this point, like you're just doing your best and they're just upset at you, and you've tried to explain yourself, and they say don't go to bed mad, but again, I've said to people that is very, very, very hard to do. Very hard to do. You can go to bed not without having a conversation, but it is very hard to not go to bed without with deading that emotion.
Hmm.
Um, someone tells Leah she should have a conversation with Rob, and Leah said, "I cannot talk to Rob today." And I was like, yeah, I didn't blame her either for that. Because he's manipulative. He is. He like you're trying to like stay out of it, and he just manipulates you into back into his world. Not that I think that Leah wanted to totally be out of his world. I'm just saying that I also understand not wanting to like going through the emotion of the night before, not wanting to go into that all of that messy, gross, soupy emotion today.
Yeah, no, it's too soon. Too soon.
Yeah. So Nicole says, Leah, I swear if I had to deal with what you have, I don't know what I would do with myself. And Janae says, I've learned from Leah, just let it go. And I was like, Janae, you are the sweetest person, because you should not have learned that from Leah of all. She definitely has not let shit go.
But she acts like she does, so.
Exactly. So the girls chat about the boys and watch them, and Miguel's doing handstands. Kendall is uncomfortable. He
Oh,
said,
sorry, I didn't realize that this hadn't happened yet.
Kendall says, I can't be more different than this guy. I feel like I have a clown nose on. And Cordell comforts him. He says, you don't have a clown nose
You have
on.
your
You have
own nose. You
your
have your
nose.
nose. It's like you have your nose,
Man.
Kendall.
Oh my God. He's so sweet. Such a sweet kid. I swear to God. I love that kid.
Like you have your nose. It's like
Yeah,
it's so cute.
yeah, it is.
You don't have a clown nose. You have your nose.
Kendall,
You
so
want to cry.
Rob ITMs, he feels like him and Kendall are going through something similar but different in the same boat, in a boat versus a canoe. Kendall should just wait for the next girls to go in there. Isn't that so nice? He should just throw away his connection because, the girl's not there. It's like I do feel like very similarly, Rob and Leah similarly do the same things. Like, oh, everybody should be in the same boat as me. Like you're saying he's in a boat and you're a canoe and you're in a canoe, meaning your person's gone and he's got his person there, but he should just throw away the person because she's appending what he like. Hello.
But I do understand Kendall's perspective is that he doesn't like being in these, I would calling them percentages. He wants to be the one that's chosen, the one that she's putting all of her focus and energy into, because that's what he's doing. He's not, it doesn't seem like he's the type of person that can juggle a couple of relationships. Like when he's focusing on somebody, he wants to just focus on that one person. And I don't think that he likes feeling that he's competing for somebody's attention. And so I do understand why it makes him retreat. He's also the crab as a Cancer. So once they get confronted or they feel that they're not attacked, but they feel like something is being change in their dynamic or they're feeling insecure, whatever it is, they're going to retreat. They're going to hide in their shell. And so right now he's in their shell because he doesn't really want to be competing with Miguel right now. And so I understand why he's taking a step back, because I don't think that what Miguel offers is something that he offers that he can do better, or like he can just only be himself. And it seems like she wants to explore that. Is just, I just think he just doesn't want to be a part of this decision making thing. If it's not all him, he doesn't want to be a part of it.
Fair. I mean, as a woman, I've already said multiple times, like
If there's a choice, it's not me. Yeah.
If a choice that is not me, and I feel like you're going for two different people, I'm never going to fight for you. My thing with Kendall though is he has done this multiple times. And you came on a love show. So he got upset. He was in his feelings because he was not the first one chosen when they were all standing on the hearts. Then he got upset because Hannah was exploring a connection. Then he got upset because Nicole is exploring a connection. My whole thing is, why did you come to Love Island? Because it's about a show about exploring a connection. I personally would not go on Love Island. I would go on Love is Blind. Because I have more of a choice. Like it's a double choice, right? It's not just him making the choice, it's me making the choice, right? I would not go on a show like this where a lot of the times those choices get taken out of your hands. You don't get to, like in Love is Blind, you get to explore as many connections as possible. Like I like 5 guys, right? And maybe of those 5 guys, 3 of them like me. So I'm exploring 3 connections, right? Here, you don't necessarily get those options. And so maybe Kendall came on the wrong show.
Or maybe he didn't realize how he's going to react on the show, or how he's going to be received on the show, or, you know, that's, you know, he's a jokey, lovable, kind guy. I think he thought that he'd be maybe more of a catch and that people would want to, you know what I mean? Like, I think that it's making him confront things that he's never really experienced before. And so I'm going to give him a slight pass that, like, he didn't realize how the show was going to go for him. Right. He may have seen the show, but not expect that the person that he's coupled up with is going to want to couple up with someone else. Like, he probably just didn't expect that to be his journey.
Yeah. Danita points out here, Rob and Lee are the epitome of pot calling the kettle black. The one brain cell would be working overtime between the two of them. Yes. Throw the brain cell away. Driver really thinks that Nicole and Kendall are both being hypocrites here. And I also feel like this is fair assessment on both of their parts. I do feel like they're being hypocritical. He got to explore when he needed to against Hannah. And now he thought that, because I said on my last recap, I feel like Nicole went eeny, meeny, miny, mo between him, Cordell, and Haki. I don't feel like she was just like dead set on Kendall.
Well, I think that with Kendall, I think that she felt that he was more stable, right? Like he would be, it would be like an Aaron in the situation. And so I think that she would be able to be with him and still be able to explore if she wanted to. Like, I think that that's what she expected.
Yes. And so we do see that Rob says, you went through it last night. And they definitely wanted to keep Nicole because of me. And I was like, no, Kendall, they did not just keep Nicole because of you. They kept, like, so now he feels like, oh, she's only here because of me. And I was like, they literally kept her over Andrea because she was exploring. That was the first thing they said, is that she was still exploring between you and Miguel. She might have left if she was just there for you. So no, you did not save her in this. She saved herself, actually. Kendall said they thought I found something. Um uh and Rob's like, well, then what? They wanted to take away from me? And it's like, yeah, no, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, that was not it. Like, it wasn't a Kendall over Rob thing. It's like these guys have so much ego that this is about them. That this was
Well, they're
against,
gonna make it about them soon.
yeah,
Well, Rob.
Rob. So as the conversation is happening, Nicole and Miguel are headed up for a chat, and they're watching them. And he's like, Kendall is saying, like, we're so different. My girl is gone. She's pretty much gone. And Rob's like, oh wow, is that her up there? And he's like, yeah. And meanwhile, we hear Nicole saying to Miguel that she's not feeling good today, because she doesn't know how to feel. He says, well, you're still with Kendall, and I respect that. He does tell her he chatted with Kendall, and she says, well, he doesn't talk to me at all. He hasn't talked to me all day. And Miguel is surprised. And she's like, oh, he's like, that sucks. And she's like, I don't want to put pressure on him, but what am I supposed to do? I still want to get to know him, but I did tell him open to getting to know you. And Miguel says, yeah, it sucks. One guy feels one way, one feels the other. And Kendall to Rob is like, I gotta watch this shit unfold. It sucks. And Rob's like, well, what did she told you? Kendall says barely anything. So I'm like, but we watched her have a conversation. I feel like she basically gave him the gist of what was happening, other than maybe like word for word. And he talked to Miguel. So I'm like, what was said? Like, I hate that about, like, this is where I'm like, I wish we had Love Island live feeds, because I feel like we missed something here.
Well, I think it was when Miguel said that she would couple up with him. I think that
Mm-hmm.
that's been lingering in the back of his head, that she's already made the decision that she wants to be with Miguel over Kendall, and she's just waiting for the time to be able to change things up. And so I think that that's playing in his mind. We know what Cancer loves to brood and stew and make scenarios up in their mind that may or may not exist, kind of like a Pisces does. And so I think that he might have been creating more of a situation than was actually presented to him in their conversations. To be honest though, I feel for Kendall, and I kind of understand where he's coming from. He doesn't want to be in a love triangle. And regardless of whether she's been open and honest with him, I just don't think he likes being in that position. And so I get him retreating. You know what I mean? I can understand it. It could also be my Cancer rising, but
I also feel like, but then don't choose Nicole. Because I don't feel like Nicole ever presented somebody who was going to just stick. But he does ITM that he feels stupid because he feels like he told Nicole so many things that he wished now he hadn't shared with her. He doesn't say what those things are. Danita said Love Island live feeds would be crazy, but they would clear up a lot of things for us. Yeah, we used to have little mini behind the scenes. Remember that?
mm-hmm.
For what was it, like season 3 and season, no, it was just season 3, that they used to put on Paramount Plus for us or somewhere, and then they stopped doing that. I miss it. We need it. Rob says she told you she kissed him, right? Because apparently it's gotten around the entire villa. And he says, yeah, that's the first red flag. But we go back to the Miguel and Nicole conversation. And he says, I really want to be respectful, but I do want to kiss you. And Nicole says, well, maybe not today with everything going on. And he's like, yeah. Nicole said, my head is all over the place. And see, I do feel like I will give Miguel this, because unlike Connor, he didn't push this. Like, he could have been knowing that her emotions were all over, he could have been pushing all sorts of agendas on her, but he allowed her to feel her emotions. He comforted her. And that is why Connor still sucks. And I still rate Miguel a little bit above him. Still fuck boy, but
I like Miguel way more than I like Connor. So
exactly. So
Connor is, it seems like he's intentionally nasty to Janae.
nasty. Correct.
And it seems like Miguel is just like a lovable fuck boy.
Yeah.
A
And
lover boy.
and
That'll
he
fuck you over.
says, at least well, you know where one person is at, because he's basically saying, I want to be with you. I like everybody more than Connor. I don't like Rob more than Connor, to be fair. Leah and Aaron play ping pong, and they are chatting about yesterday. And she says she feels bad because Aaron felt bad, and she knows he was just defending Rob. And he begins to interrogate her. He says, "Well, do you feel bad? Would you have felt bad if Rob left?" And she says, "Well, of course." He warns her, "Don't be lying." And she says, she ITM's like, "I do feel bad. I feel bad about how we did each other, but like it's over." And he says, "Well, what about Connor?" And then she kind of just like, "Well, we're fine." And he ITM's, "Oh, she does not want Connor. You can tell by the way she's reacting. I saw it all in her face." I'm like, who asked you, Aaron, to play detective in this villa?
I know
Why
he's
don't
starting to like. Why is he deciding to come and villainize Leah now? Like, is it because he's worried that if Leah and Rob get back together, they'll become the winning couple, and like that they would win the show? And right now, him and Kaylor are the only strong couple, and so likely they would win the show if they get to the end. Like, I don't understand why he's starting just to turn on, well, the women in general, other than Kaylor, but
mm-hmm,
it seems like Leah, he's particularly interested in making her look bad.
villainizing her? And my whole thing too was, if you and Kyler is such a strong couple, let me see that, because I've been saying for episodes now in my recap, I don't feel nothing for them. I feel
I
nothing.
used to, but like now that like I see that she's just a kind of a pick, not a pick me, but
Not a
uh
pick me. It's another
uh
one.
it's, I don't know if there's like an actual term for what she does, but
Mm-hmm.
she just wants to be in a relationship so bad that she will just follow the man, and whatever he says goes, and she'll change her opinions to suit her guy, and she just like is willing to lose her autonomy and her
Mm-hmm.
who she is to be behind
To be
the man, like
just some guy. Yeah.
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 So I don't know if there's a term for that, but
And it's also not a good look. I don't want to watch that. And Dreadful Ruby says, honestly, I forget that they're there often. Me
last
too.
time I do like a little mini recap of what's going on, and I
Yeah.
was like, I think that's everybody, and I realized I'm like, oh, I did not mention Kaylor and Aaron.
And I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. There was one episode I was like, I really have nothing for them. Like this episode, I don't see it. I don't see it with them. And I did in the beginning. I do feel like the show props them up a bit. I do feel like there hasn't been a straight white couple to win this show since season 1. And I do feel like the producers have been trying to get that going, and it never comes to fruition. I think they tried to do it with Carmen and whoever that guy is that she was girlfriend with outside of the villa. And
His name, he has a unique name,
he does.
like Riker, Rio.
Rio. Rio? That sounds familiar.
It
Um,
sounds something like Rio.
it sounds
The
like
chat will know.
that. And then we still saw Marco and Hannah.
Rico. Sorry, I'm still on it. Is it Rico?
Yeah, Relo, no, something like that. You're pretty close, I think. We did see that Anna and Marco, spoiler, ended up winning, and we know that Hannah is Afro Latina.
And
So
we know that you're not going to see them at the pop up today.
no, the now, and I would have, it's an hour away, so it's not that far of a drive. I just not feeling good, so I don't think I should make the drive to Lake Como tonight. Kenzo, thank
Thank
you,
you.
Jennifer. Thank you.
I was close with the oh.
I said you're there. You're there. But I do feel like they tried to prop up Carmen and Kenzo, and if we had not saw evidence of things that made no sense to us, they probably would have propped them up to win this show. I do think that they're doing something very similar with Aaron and Kyler, saying like him just saying, "Oh, it's there's no long distance, there's nothing. I'll just move, I'll just move," and I was like, "You'll just move?" Like, okay, what would that entail? Where are you moving to? Are y'all moving to someplace neutral? Are you moving to her? Like,
They're both moving
what?
to LA. You know, we'll just move is we're moving to LA to cash in on the Instagram or influencer game. Like, cash that influencer check.
Yeah. So we do see Connor comes over and he pulls Leah for a chat and kind of just confirms, "Hey, we're still good, right?" And she's like, "Well, yeah." And then he asks about how she's feeling over her decision. She explains that, Robin and Dre were not willing to explore, and Nicole was still waiting to explore, and Janae hadn't had a chance. Like, I would hope that the tail end of that was, we interrupted y'all connection, but wasn't there. And he says, "Well, for the guys, we think," and I was like, "No, no, no, no. This is you, Aaron, and Rob.
Mm-hmm.
Don't put this on all the other guys. Don't make this I hate when people say we. Who's we? When did we start speaking French? um Liv and you wanted to send her home to get back at Rob." She says, "Do you believe that? You believe that?" He doesn't really respond. And so she's like, "I did not do that. It was a mutual decision." And so she does then go down and she pulls Serena and tells her. And Serena's like, "I am over this." And I would be too. Y'all made a decision that y'all made, and we're not
I
mad at
mean,
it.
there's no air signs there just to like lay it down clearly. Like, because like we got Pisces, she says things kind of emotionally and like it doesn't really lay it down. Serena she should be actually a little bit better at articulating, being a Virgo. They can speak or like they can usually can communicate a little bit better, but they need an air sign to speak it out because nobody's hearing what's going on.
Yeah.
Like, we were keeping Janae no matter what. So tell me, between Nicole and Andrea, who was the better decision?
Yeah.
Just tell me.
Yeah. Mary points out, "We don't hate Marco and Hannah, but we aren't checking for them either." I mean, I don't like Marco, love Hannah, but yes, not checking for either of them. KB does point out that everybody on that season was kind of forgettable except for Weepy KK. I mean, Bergie and
Fergie.
Taylor. I love Bergie and Taylor. I would have also
I
been
actually love Bergie though more after. Like, I wasn't like I was
I know
rolling
a
my
lot of
eyes
people
a little
weren't
bit
on
about
the
Bergie's
yeah,
storyline. I was just
yeah,
like, okay, yeah.
yeah.
But after, I do like that they still are in a relationship, that they do
Mhm.
all these TikToks and Instagram posts together. And he was on the Traders. I really liked him on that. So I like the after Bergie, but I don't know if I cared for him that much on the actual season.
I mean, to be fair, I voted for Cassie and Leo to win. So
Oh, I thought I love their chemistry.
yeah,
It's like,
I would have been happy with a Cassie, Leo, Bergie, Taylor win. So I am probably not a good judge here. I wrote right into the producer thing, but people are like, "You voted for Leo and Cassie." I'm like,
I would
"Yeah,"
have voted for them too.
because if their people who were at the end really didn't want them to win, they should have kicked them out of the villa. But they were okay if they won, and they almost did.
I liked
Miss
them.
Love, Miss Love says it might have worked with season 3, Shannon and Josh, if he didn't have to. Yes, I believe that the winners would have been Shannon and
I'd have
Josh.
been better with that.
Yeah, it would have, and they would have deserved to win. To be fair,
And I don't know what it would have shaken a lot of things out, but I don't know if Cash would have ended up leaving at that time and all that. You know what I mean? Like, all the dynamics would have been different
yeah,
there.
it would have been a different. It would have been a different situation, I think. Yeah, Danita agrees. Prediction was their white couples to win again. They haven't had it since season one, and it seems like pushing has had the Kaylor, Aaron and Kaylor to be that. That she agrees that Danita agrees that we need their side.
Not Aaron.
Rachel says they released the U.S. Casa bombshells. Okay, I know they're supposed to be on also on After Sun, so we'll discuss it later. I'll be back at 7 o'clock with Miss T Joy to discuss. I am in between. I will be working on a reel and some information. I have the UK Casa bombshells. I got that information this morning, so I'm doing some research. I'm going to put that together, and so watch my socials because that I will also put out on my socials. Yeah, Peacock doesn't send me information. They like to just release shit themselves and whatever. They don't like to give us spoilers. KK said, I don't even want to be associated with Bergie with Love Island at this point. He's a rare gem. Aw. And Joyful Reese said, yeah, Bergie. I love them. I do. I really do. If you follow them, you'll see them. They're doing so well, and I really, really like them. So let's finish up this episode. So they confront Kendall and Aaron, and Janae is like, she's like, I did. Why did somebody over here thinks that I didn't? And Janae's like, yeah, she's over Rob. And she's like, why would I do that? I never talked to Andrea about him behind his back. I talked to other people about him behind his back, and I never talked about Andrea to other people. I want to make her own decision. I mean, I was like, you did kind of talk about Andrea just a little bit behind her back. But I mean, I also
she was saying that she talked to other people about them, but she didn't talk to each other about each other.
Yeah. But I agree with her that she did not talk about like him to Andrea at all. She just let them go. She did talk shit about Rob, and also deserved. Then she just like kind of walks away because basically Kendall's like, well, I didn't say it, and we all know it was Aaron, and which is why I was like, somebody else said it, like, don't involve Kendall, and also as General say, leave Cordell out of this. KB saying the same thing. Cordell is not involved in any of this chaos. It is not Cordell or Kendall or Miguel. Like, don't say we.
So I love that it's all the ethnic people it doesn't involve. It's interesting. It's interesting.
Yeah, because they could see both sides. I wonder why. So then she leaves, and Janae's and Janae's like, she's still into Rob, huh? and they're like,
I wish that she hadn't said that though, knowing what starts to happen in the next few episodes, but
I mean, it was pretty clear. Like the way she was doing that.
Well, I think it's obvious that her connection got completely uprooted in the middle of some, like, she didn't really get any closure, and like it was just like a new girl comes in, steals her guy, they're in love now, and like you're just like, huh? Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's why, the person who could understand that the most is Janae.
Yeah.
And she says, yeah. Why? Because she talks about him all the time. And the only reason why I am glad she said this is because what we see later, I think it kind of sets up what does happen later. Because I kind of feel, and some other people kind of felt like Rob might have been pulling Janae for a chat to like try to start something with her.
Oh, that happened. When did that happen?
In a couple sentences. So they do get ready for the night, and Leah is upset. Like, I did not do this. And I do think that this is why we end up having the conversation that we do at the end of this episode, which we'll get to. But Miguel is waiting on Nicole to make a decision. Nicole wonders if she just likes Miguel more romantically. And so she is thinking about it. Is it a romantic thing with me and Miguel, or is it a physical thing with me and Miguel? What is it about me and Miguel? Because I do think she understands where she is with Kendall. she just feels like Miguel is an enigma. So she's trying to figure it out, which is what you're supposed to be doing on this show. Um,
Yes, you're supposed to be doing it, but also for me, if I had a connection with somebody and they didn't want to just pursue that and they want to pursue other connections, I'd just be like, okay, just go do that. I don't want to be involved in a triangle and you picking and choosing who you want to be with. I get it's the name of the show, but I would hope that someone would just want to pursue me.
fair, fair. I would want that too, but also fair that men on the show get to explore connections and women don't. And the minute that a woman doesn't, the guy, it makes her feel like she's the worst person in the world. They're doing it to Serena. They've done it to Nicole. And I mean, it gets worse with Serena, but it just is like we've seen it time and time again. And the audience falls for it every time because misogyny, because this is the mentality that men are allowed to explore and women should just sit there and wait for them to make a decision.
I mean, I don't think either of them should be doing like like it's for me. I see both sides. I could definitely see that it's more accepted that the men do the exploring. But if it were me, I wouldn't want the guy to be exploring. And so that's how I kind of look at it. So I can that's why I'm understanding Kendall, but I can also understand the masses only understanding Kendall due to misogyny.
Yeah. And so we've seen it with other storylines. We saw it with Shaq and Tanya. We saw it with Tasha and Andrew. And now we're seeing it, I feel like, with Serena and Cordell, where if the guy likes the girl a little more, or they know for sure that this is the girl that they want, regardless of anything, and they are okay with the girl exploring, they get shit from the guys in the villa. They get shit from the outside audience. Everybody gives them shit for being that type of person in this show. Meanwhile, the guys get to do whatever they want to. And KB says, yeah, it's fair. I think the intent and how they execute it on the exploration that drives the issues that the people may or may not have. And that's I agree with. I think it's about how you move. Like, it's one thing if you're closed off and then you go and kiss another girl. But if you guys both say you're open, then you got.
It's also this open bullshit. I'm not really a fan of this open bullshit. So,
but my whole thing is, if you just got together in 4 days, you should be open, because in 4 days, I'm not sure if you necessarily know each other enough to say you're the love of my life.
I definitely would never say the love of my life. That would
Which
be
is
for
what
Rob
these
to
people
say.
want to say. Yeah.
It's just not my style of dating.
Yeah.
To just to be fine with somebody in front of my face doing whatever they want. It's just not for me.
Not for me either, which is why I would never go on Love Island. Rob pulls Janae, and he kind of apologizes for his actions the night before. And she's like, well, do you understand now why they did what they did? And he's like, yeah, I understand it. And he's like, she does like say, hey, buddy. Yeah, I'm like, she just like lays the groundwork, like, we're gonna chat as friends. This will be nothing more. And she then just kind of makes a layup for Leah here. And to me, Janae was playing chess, not checkers. Because Leah's talking to Connor, and she's just basically like, well, what do you think? Have you talked to Leah? What do you think about Leah? Where are you at with Leah? And he's just like, oh, I can't think about that right now. You're turning my head. And she's like, well, we all agree Connor and Leah could be great, but Rob and Leah could be amazing. And I was like, yes, get Connor dumped. I love it. I love it.
I love it, but I think it's also going to play into Rob deciding to make Leah the supervillain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I get the intent, and I want Connor dumped as well. Like, that's amazing. But I don't think that Janae realizes how manipulative Rob is, and that Connor might get dumped, but her friend might get stomped on the way out.
Mm. Well, would I feel sorry for her? Probably not. KB love Janae. Mary says, I personally love when women explore, but I think Nicole seems to think Kendall is lucky to even be able to pull her, and that's what rubs me the wrong way. I don't know if
I
I
kind of agree. Well, with the next episodes, I kind of just like, she thinks that he should just sit around. Like, I don't know, that she's been open and honest, and he should
Mhm.
just be like doing like what letting me do whatever I want because I've been honest with him. And it's like,
Yeah.
well, he's
I
also allowed
do
to have
feel
his
like
feelings.
she thinks that she should be allowed to explore and he should be okay with it and allow her to do. I don't know if it's about that feel lucky that she's still into him though,
I've
but
no, lucky that she's chosen him and that she wants to have something
yeah,
with him. Like, I see what Kay's saying or Mary's saying
yeah.
here.
Yeah, I don't know about that part. KB says our good sis was low key, high key on her lick back. I agree. I agree. Mary says Leah needs to learn the hard way. We are all have been there. Sorry, Leah. I do kind of agree with that too. Generally, uh, he says that he's not sure if he's open to Leah. So he's saying it right here. He said, I'm not sure if I'm open to Leah. I think too many things have happened. And but generally just wants to see what happens next. And I was like, oh, so you're just gonna be messy. Got it. Nicole and Kendall chats and she says she misses him. They haven't talked all day, and he says it's cool with her. He's cool with her exploring, but it does hurt him. And she says, well, she'll be exploring with both of them. And I was like, well, she made that clear. Serena and Cordell talk, and I love this scene because he basically is trying to bullshit her because he really wanted to just kiss her. And she is like, stop it. he's like, he's like, what? She's like, I know what you're trying to do. He's like, what? She's like, get a kiss. He's like, yeah. And so they do kiss and then they dance because they're like, there was so much drama. And so I did like this little romantic scene that we got from them. And then he picks her up and spins her around and then he carries her down the stairs.
I'm worried, like, with him always wanting to show how tough he is, that he's gonna fall and drop her one time. Like, just put her down. Like, doing downstairs, it's scary. Like, I
Yeah,
don't know.
that's true. So then we see Aaron and Kyler chat, and they're the strongest connection. And I'm like, just because y'all keep saying that doesn't make it true. And I hate that they keep saying that. They keep saying it as a joke, and it's just like, ugh. But then they watch Leah pull Rob, and then Aaron's like, don't look, she's pulling him now. It's like, can you focus on your damn relationship? Like he got mad. And so Rob and Leah head up to the balcony to chat. And Aaron's mad about it. And then Kylie kind of kisses him. But then we do see that Connor's mad because he also sees it. And so we do see the conversation, and Leah tries to make it clear to Rob that she wasn't out to get him. And then she used the word that I think gets
Backseat.
her in trouble because she said, I tried to take a back seat in this vote. I did not want to send Andrea out. I took a back seat
And what I
in
think
this
she
decision.
meant
Yes.
was, I wasn't all guns blazing, like, they need to go out, like, I need to have my opportunity to get back with Rob. They came into our relation, like, she wasn't going full throttle, full force and getting Andrea out so she could have Rob. I think in her eyes, with how much she could have pushed for her to go, that she feels that she did take a back seat on this decision.
Yep.
She allowed it to go in this direction. She gave some points and, some thoughts around why she thinks that this would be a good decision. I think there was probably other points that she made for other things too that they didn't show us. But I think that from her perspective on how she knows how hard she could be or how forceful she could be on a decision making.
Yep.
She felt that she took a back seat on getting her specific agenda across. And
Yes.
it just so happens that the collective decision was in alignment with what she would have wanted as well. That's how I
Absolutely.
took it.
Yeah, I understood what she was saying. She definitely used the wrong wordage here. And even Danita says as soon as she said backseat, I knew she messed up. Even though I understood what she meant, she definitely shouldn't said that word. And Masay, hi Masay, says I don't IDT. She talked enough in the decision, so I understood what she meant. I don't think she talked enough. Okay, I don't think she talked enough in that decision. I understood she meant. Yeah, I didn't even see her vote. To be fair, like I saw everybody else. Like I guess it was like one or two, and they all was like two. And I didn't even see Leah put up a one or two. So I understood what she said, like what she was trying to say, because I feel like through the day, everybody was making it on her that this was her decision and forced it on the other girls. And instead of that, they made a mutual decision. You guys need to live with it. And it wasn't one person's decision or not. What she shouldn't have said here was that she did not put her input into it at all, because that also was not true.
Yeah, if she well, what I was saying with this was, I'm like, oh, Leah, just wait till tomorrow or the day after, just not so soon.
Yeah,
It's too fresh. People are just willing
glom
to
onto anything.
exactly. And
Yeah,
the fact that Rob almost went home, and they're still really emotional about this whole thing, and
yep,
like it would make sense for you to be the one that pushed for this to happen, and that makes you an evil person that you don't want to see him happy. Like
yep,
it just makes everybody a lot easier for everybody to believe that about you.
yep.
And then they can create a lot of evidence to make that true. And I was like, just wait a little longer. Wait a little. This is too soon. But I'm sure the producers are like, talk to Rob
No, you
now.
have to go pull Rob. You got to get this out. And this, I think we talked about this on our recap earlier, yesterday. We don't necessarily like the way that the producers are putting their finger on this Leah situation. It's clear because she even says, I don't know if she says in this episode or the next episode, that she needs to go to therapy. But the producers realized that, like somebody said, one of my friends said, none of these people passed their psych eval, and I'm starting to believe it. I think they realized, oh yeah, we could just like manipulate that person, and that person ain't stable, and I don't it feels icky sometimes, and I and so I don't like this situation. Like I don't like her talking to Rob, and I don't like like any of this. Like I don't like being involved in any of this. Mary does say, okay, Chantel, I wasn't getting Leah's point now, but I finally can see it, which is, I always understood what she was saying, but yes, you very, very
The back
clearly,
seat was like, oh, I didn't have like I was like I just didn't do anything. Like I was like I just let everybody do it, and I don't think that she meant that,
yeah,
right? But I know that that's it. That's how people are taking it,
correct.
and how it's going to be perceived by other
You can
people.
say it,
Backseat
yeah.
means that you didn't have a
You
say,
didn't
and
do
I
nothing.
think
You
from
guys steamrolled.
her
Yeah.
bold perspective that can get whatever she wants if she chooses that.
Hmm.
I think that she felt that she was taking a backseat on the decision in the way that she usually would be going hard for something. So
Yeah.
I understand Leah, but the Islanders don't.
Yeah. Miss A says the whole cast needs therapy, pretty much.
100%.
And Mary points out here, watch Unreal. We all know they don't pass the psych evals. Yeah, I think it's either on Hulu or
It was on Prime for a while.
Prime. Yeah, so go watch Unreal. Interesting watch. Um, Danita says, and since I understood what she was saying, it was hard to watch what transpires the next episode. Exactly. So we do see, because Rob just went into total
He's like,
manipulation. He's like, gotcha, gotcha.
He's like, I'm
Because
gonna make you a
gotcha.
monster.
Yeah, and but I said that in even in when they had their breakup conversation, and she got pulled to have that conversation with him. That's exactly what he did. He wanted to make her the villain because he was the villain. He realized, oh shit, I'm gonna be the villain, so
Need to
I have to
deflect.
make
How
I
can I deflect?
yeah, like I have to make a. You did this, and this. You didn't care about me. You did it, and I was like, okay, yeah, he's gonna. I said, and doing that, he made himself even more of a villain. Um, do I think Leah wasn't the villain for me until she talked shit about Janae to Connor?
Oh, I didn't. I definitely didn't like that.
Yeah,
That was.
it was gross. It was
Yeah.
unnecessary. And I don't like it. And I know it came from a place of insecurity, but I don't give a fuck. You don't call somebody a friend, take their man, and then do some shit like that. That for me was my line with her. Um, and so and like the only reason why I know it came from a place of insecurity is because the minute when her and Janae had that conversation, and Janae, she was saying, oh yeah, so me and Connor, we realized we like each other more than friends. We're gonna get to know each other. And Janae said, yeah, I have eyes. I can see it. I understand. And she's like, okay, so we're just gonna get to know each other. And Janae's like, yeah, I got it. It's okay. It's okay, Leah. And Leah's like, and she's like, what's the matter? And Leah's like, this is just so shit. Because she realized she's got to turn her into a villain in order to make this not look bad on her. And she literally, and Janae's being so nice about it, and then she's comforting her. And it's like, so like I did not like that at all.
Well, and I think it is a character flaw of Leah's. I think
Yeah.
it's also the youth within that situation with Connor. Connor is we've seen many instances where Connor is not kind about Janae, and I also think that Leah got kind of roped up into like making Janae the villain with Connor to
Mm-hmm.
make their new relationship work and make sense and like be the right thing to do. So it's not great that she did that. I do hold Connor being a dick, and how he went about choosing to pursue Leah, to be kind of the catalyst for Leah being a shitty friend.
Okay, so this is the only thing I was thinking that as well, because I also think it's gross that Connor just flipped and went to Leah, and
Well, and then the how, and then just being like, oh,
it's supposed to be a friend, and then also you could see that she was emotionally not okay and ready to move on, but you still did it. Okay, but Hannah said that Leah came to them before for the whole Connor thing started, between the Rob thing, and she was saying that oh, Janae and Connor are not working, and that she likes Connor, and they're all like, well, no, he seems fine with Janae, because this is before that any of that happened. So Hannah also was kind of like, I'm not sure, like it came out of nowhere, and she's not sure what happened there. Then Liv kind of mentioned that she was kind of chatting shit even before this about Janae to Connor. So I'm also not sure if that is also just has been part of their basis of their relationship, and maybe she was also
like bad mouthing her to make Connor not like her anymore, so that she'd eventually jump ship and move over. Yeah, I mean, I didn't see that interview, so I don't have
yeah,
that
yeah,
context, but
yes, yeah. So that's the only other thing that I from both inside and outside the villa um was interesting to me.
hmm.
But um yeah. So we see here though that he's also like pressing her about the Connor situation. Well, how are you and Connor? And she's like,
See, this
well,
is her falling into his trap.
she allowed him, man. Um, uh, because she had said she didn't talk bad about him to Andrea, and he said, "Oh no, I didn't think that, but how are you and Connor?" And she's like, "Oh, we're okay." I don't, I don't know if we're really like he's really what I need, but I don't until I like get there. I don't want to like really give you. I don't want to put you in that position. I know you guys are friends, and I want to kind of go through this and make my decisions, and then talk to him at the right time. I don't want it getting back to him. But she does still also say to him, well, I still have feelings for you. It's like, no, you
Don't give him the
never
power.
give this guy
Not
that
this
type of
guy.
information. That is his power.
Now he's gonna just drag you to filth.
Ugh. So Aaron
He's
sees
gonna
that.
like, oh my god, if she goes back to him after this,
Listen, I still think it's a possibility. Um,
it is a possibility. And he's been like, like all these things that we've been through. I think it's because we care about each other so much, and like I think we deserve it to owe it to ourselves to give this a real shot.
yeah.
We've explored different things. We had our ups and downs. We've had a real Love Island experience, and I think that you know we need to share that brain cell again.
And Leah's stands are literally like Ty and Ella stands. Like they think that toxic love and behavior
I
is
wanted her to never speak to him again so badly.
righteous. I said this. I said this about her, and I said this about Janae. Like they should never talk to these men. Never talk to
I
these
mean, I would never talk to Connor again.
I would never talk to Connor
God,
again. But Aaron sees that Connor's upset and tells Kyla, "Oh, he's the poor guy. I have to go console him."
what a loser! Such a
Such a
loser.
loser. So he goes to console him, and we do see Leah ITM like it
True.
makes.
Oh my god! So I just figured it out.
Go ahead.
Aaron doesn't want Leah to come between him and Rob. He wants his time with Rob. And when Leah's there, I think he spends all of his time with Leah. And I think that he likes the fact that Rob and him can get closer when Leah's out of the picture. So this is why, because like in this moment, isn't this where Aaron says, like, oh, I think that the reason why she did this was to like break you and you know what I mean? And so it's like to get Rob away from Leah so he can have him to himself.
It's possible. It's possible. I don't know. See, this is what I'm saying. We very rarely got to see what Rob and Andrea were doing because they were just there. And when we did, it was mostly sexual conversation. So I don't know how much time he was actually spending with Andrea. Now, if he then with Andrea wasn't really spending a ton of time because, again, maybe she was spending a lot of her time with Nicole and with Liv and with Kyler. And then then time with him. Maybe Aaron got to spend more time with Rob. And KB says, yeah, Aaron is more concerned with Rob than Kyler. He is. And in turn, being more concerned with Leah. So Leah does ITM that it makes her sad that they are not good. But again, he pushes this Connor agenda. Like what? Like what? You could tell me what's going on with you and Connor. You could tell me. And she's like, no. She's like she kind of trickles in like she's not that into Connor, but that like it's not Connor and Aaron's like trying to calm Connor down, like, oh, it might not be what you think. I don't think Rob would get and see Aaron though is here trying to cover for Rob because he knows that he already thinks that Leah would get back with him. She's trying to cover with Rob to not make it seem like Rob is a dick, that he would take Leah back after everything that just happened right now, like right away. And he's like, don't even think about it. They're like, even if that's what she's doing, she's probably doing that, but he's not going to do that. And Connor said he's just frustrated. He's not stupid. And we do see though that Rob is thinking, and that's pretty much where they end the episode. And then they cut to the 3 new bombshells are coming in. I at this point was like, oh, okay. So Aaron has decided he has to protect Rob. Rob can't be the bad guy because he stayed for him. My boo stayed for me. I have to protect him. So he's not going to go back to Leah. He doesn't like Leah. He likes Andrea. Like they were the strong connection. He only stayed for me. So like even if he's entertaining her, it's just but I know that Leah wants him. She did all of this to get him back.
And now, and then he would lose Rob again if Leah comes back into the villa.
Mm-hmm.
Probably because he sees that, subconsciously anyways, that he does have a better connection or whatever it is, like a more of a real connection, not just a sexual connection with Leah. I feel like they spent more time together, at least that they showed us on the show.
Yes, I felt like that too.
Like even with all their secret, like, signs, and go
Yeah,
to hang out and go to
yeah,
hug and go to
yeah.
like, they just sort of just more of there's more of that. I feel like he
More
was.
together. Yep.
Mhm.
Yep. Miss Love here agrees with you. Aaron seems to like Rob a lot. Danita says, I think you're right, Chantel. Think about it. When Rob and Lee were together, we never really saw them hanging out with Aaron and Kyler because, again, Leah's friends are Serena and Janae, which is also why Janae is closer with, and also Connor ended up being closer with Rob and Aaron because they were all together. The only ones that weren't together was Cardell and Serena, because remember, Serena asked for a space at one point. Cordell is closer to Kendall. And I don't think that she says she doesn't like her man being up under her. So he had to learn to do that. So they spent time apart. But this makes a lot of sense. So we saw them hanging out with Aaron and Kyler. But when Rob was with Andrea, they were always with Aaron and Kyler. And that's what Kyler said at the top of the episode. The person that she talked to more, had more conversations with versus Nicole was Andrea because of this. KB says, I would bet money that Rob and Aaron are the real love story this season. And they're leaving Fiji and getting an apartment in LA after the season. I could definitely
I can
see
definitely see
them
them getting an apartment
being
after.
the Tom and the what's his name of Love Island USA. Yeah. Tom, and they were both on Love Island All Stars.
Callum? No.
Casey.
Casey.
Casey. Yep, Casey. Uh, yep. And they're trying to have them be the Cam and Chris moment.
Cam and Chris are more charming.
Yeah. So I
don't
could
know.
definitely see that. I could definitely see that. So, guys, that's where we were as of Monday. Drama. This is just Monday, and
There's so many. There's
there's
so
so
much
many more
happening.
things to happen. I know, but I will be back with Miss T Joy at 7 to discuss the next two episodes, Tuesday and Thursday's episode, and then we will all be back tomorrow sometime to discuss last night's episode 16 tomorrow. So, God, Chantel, tell the people what's going on with you.
Well, I'm going to upload. Well, I had to finish editing. It takes forever to edit, to be honest. Editing episode 15.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm going to record episode 16 and hopefully edit and upload that all by tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll be live with you to talk about 16 tomorrow, probably at around noonish again.
Yes.
And if I can do it, I mean, it's still decently early in the day, but if I can get it all in there, I will start doing live recaps of The Mole. Now, there's 5 episodes, so it will take a while for me to get through, but I think I'm going to do it in a similar fashion where I'm going to do my commentary as I'm watching the episode. So hopefully I can get on that train, but if it's too hard of an undertaking, I might just drop it and watch the season.
I know. There's so many shows that I watch. Have so many commentaries on. I'm watching Love Is Blind Brazil. I have so much commentary on that. I'm watching.
You should just do just TikTok and
Yeah,
just
that's
do
what
like a
I'm gonna
little
have to do. I'm
video.
gonna have to do that. What I'm gonna start doing is just jotting down a couple of notes and then do that, because like afterwards I only remember the stuff that really pissed me off, and I want to balance.
Just be able to make it, just call it like the things that pissed me off this episode.
Yeah. So Love Is Blind Brazil I've been watching. Started Love Undercover that we started talking about.
I also saw Love Island South Africa is on Peacock now too. I think it was South Africa.
Yeah, but I think it's only been one season of
I don't.
Saka.
I've never seen any of them. Oh wait, I've seen some of one of them.
Yeah, I've seen some of one of them. Yeah. And then what else is on? The Mole, which I'm gonna watch as well. And then there's a show that just came out that is Netflix UK, which is Supercell. I want to watch. It is a black superhero show. I am
Oh,
so excited to watch that. And so I do like my scripted program. So there's so much TV on right now. They just loaded the summer up. I can't say that I
I know.
hate it. I
I'm
wish
not
I did
on
it.
the Bridgerton train because I'm like, I just need to go watch all of the to get caught up. So I might try to do that because I need to know what the big deal is.
Yeah. Watch do what I did. Watch Queen Charlotte first, and then go back and watch the other three seasons. Queen Charlotte's my favorite season, personally. I
Well,
just told
I
I
think
just
I
told
have to
Janelle
watch
to
it
do
in
this
order
too.
it was aired. I'm just that
Well,
type of
the
person.
reason why I'm saying that is because Queen Charlotte is technically it's not a book, and the other three are books. So if you watch it the way that it was aired, it's one, two, Queen Charlotte, three, and it like you could just watch Queen.
Got it. Got it. Got it.
KB says all the black and brown islanders are
I'm
often together the most. Yes, this is true. And Rachel points out something here that I absolutely believe that Aaron and Rob, if they are both in Casa, are going to push Cordell to move Matt. I do feel like, based on all of this
his
that
heart
we
couldn't take
see,
that. I don't think he could do it.
these two episodes, we're going to get three options. He is going to be the shack, meaning he's going to go into the casa and not really explore, not do anything really, come out, go back to Serena, and she is maybe gonna find another connection and bring that connection back. Um, due to whatever it happens. Second option, he's going to be the Andrew, and he is going to bring back a Coco, and hopefully he doesn't lick her tit. And, and he's going to bring her back, and either they're going to come back together or it's going to be done or whatever. So Tasha and Andrew, and she's going to like come back single to him, but or something totally original. Not sure. So I can't even speculate. The show has been pretty good with like, oh, this is what happened, and I'm like, oh, shock, right? So KB agrees.
It's like you were shocked by Rob
Yeah,
staying.
I'm telling you, I wanted him to go so bad. That's how bad I wanted to ask them. They were all like, Tamika, he's not leaving. I'm like, but I want him to go. Yeah, KB agrees. Mary agrees. Danita agrees. Yes, Queen Charlotte is superior. Watch it first. Watch it first, and then go back. I personally, my order is Queen Charlotte, season 2, season 1, and season 3. Season 3, season 1? Eh, those two seasons can be interchangeable. Yeah. Danita's like the internet is pushing Cordell to move mad. They're already shipping him with a certain Casa girl. Okay, well, good luck with that. Does he want to move mad? That's going to be the question.
I
Mary
think
says,
that I don't know if he's too kind.
yeah.
Like I think he'll feel guilty regardless
Hmm.
of where him and Serena are at for him to move too mad. Like
Yeah.
I just think that he's just too pure.
Yeah. I think most of America would love for Cordell to explore and find someone, as long as he doesn't let the boys encourage him to do it. That's going to be the problem. He is going to let the boys encourage him to do it. And at that point, then people are going to hate him because, but
I think that they're gonna see that he's just being influenced by these shitty dudes.
yeah. But my whole thing is, I'm hopeful that based on when he even picked Serena, that him not allowing the boys to manipulate him like that, he will maybe stay the course and only do what he wants to do. I can only hope that, because
I mean, he proved that he's gonna do that, so that's good
yeah,
to see.
yeah. Rachel says, I think Cordell will explore and recouple, and Serena will stay single. I don't think she will like any of these guys. Okay, we got to see these guys. Y'all scary here. Cordell's behavior in Casa will heavily dictated by how stable he feels with Serena, how he truly feels. He very much in tune with his feelings and own mind. Okay. Okay. KB agrees with me on my order of Bridgerton. KB says if there's a Casa girl that is worth his investment, I can see him bring him back. I also, that's what I'm saying, something original, which is he might find a strong connection, somebody more his age, somebody more right into him. I think that's also possible, guys, that he could find somebody who actually he could see himself taking home to his mama. I'm not saying that that's not possible, right? That, but I don't see him just moving mad and taking anybody just to say he did, though. I don't see that for him, but I could be wrong. And KB agrees. We've seen Cordell stand strong against the guys, though, before. So I don't think Cordell will be manipulated by these guys. I agree. And KBC says Cordell explores, it will be 100% he's actively choosing not because he was influenced. I agree. I agree. I hope we're not wrong on that. He's pretty self-aware, almost too normal for the show. Mary says, I like Cordell and Serena. I do too. And on that note, I ask you guys to like and subscribe to this channel. Follow me everywhere on Entertainment in Color. As I said, I'm about to put together a little reel. I think I can release at, they said, I think it's like about 8 p.m. UK time that I can release the cast of the
Now.
Casa. So I can put together a little reel of the cast of Casa Amor for UK. So I'm going to work on it after this, and then I will be back with Miss T Joy to chat the next 2 episodes of Love Island USA tonight. And then we will catch up on the final episode, which will be Friday. And then I will be back tomorrow night to discuss the Sunday episode of Love Island. So please, you want all this content, then I'm promising you want to follow and subscribe. You never know where I'm going to drop it. So follow me, subscribe, like this video, and also tell us in the comments, do you think Cordell's going to move mad? Do you want Cordell to move mad? Do you want Serena to move mad? Who do you want to not come out of Casa Amor after this, next recoupling? So let us know. Thank you, Chantel, for joining me, and I will see you guys
Later.
later. Bye.
Bye.
You guys.